Everybody, welcome to Veterans Stadium, game number 1 of a 4-game series, the Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. And as Larry Rosen just mentioned, Jay, the Phillies have decided to pitch Terry Mulholland tonight instead of Ben Rivera, keep Mulholland on his regular day. I guess that's really not all that unusual.
No, because Mulholland probably will be the starter whoever the Phillies play in the championship series, whether it be the Giants or the Braves, and they want to keep him on his rotation and keep him on that every 4th and 5th day. So I think it's a good thing they do that. Unfortunately, the guy that's going to suffer a little bit is Rivera, but he pitched very well in his last outing against the Cubs. But the time right now, we've gone through Labor Day now. It's time to start setting up your rotation to get to that championship series. And I think the Phillies, Jim Fregosi and Lee Thomas, want to start setting everything up going towards that big day, October 6th.
Well, Mulholland's coming off a real good start against the Cubs last week, and the guy pitching against him pitched very well against the Phillies, Mike Harkey. We'll be back with the starting lineups coming up right after this.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. By Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, no other book can match it, a Bell Atlantic company. By Texaco, save up to $5 by joining Texaco's Frequent Fueler Club. Visit your local participating Texaco location for all the details. Texaco, star of the American road. By Coca-Cola, Phillies baseball and Coca-Cola, always a hit, always Coca-Cola. By Cento Fine Italian Foods, the company that says trust your family with our family. By Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
Oh, really?
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Don't you have anything to fit me?
No offense, Mr. Jones, but you are a little on the small side.
I need more choices.
Harry, give me those genuine Yellow Pages. Look, choices. Italian, Greek, Chinese. You want more?
Those are restaurants.
That's right. You put some meat on those bones and come back and see us.
9 out of 10 use it.
Mr. Matterhorn.
The genuine Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages from Bell Atlantic.
Are you losing weight?
What if someone were to design a car about the size of a Ford Taurus outside, but with more room for people than Taurus or Toyota Camry inside? Someone did. What if someone were to design a car with safety features Taurus and Camry don't give you, like both driver and passenger side airbags standard, or an available integrated child safety seat? Someone did. And what if a prestigious magazine were to name this car Automobile of the Year? One of them did. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
And now here's your Sherwin-Williams starting lineup tonight for the Chicago Cubs, managed by Jim Lefebvre. Jose Vizcaino, the shortstop. Ryan Sandberg at second. Mark Grace, the first baseman. Glenn Allen Hill in left field. Sammy Sosa on a good season in right field. Steve Buechele, the third baseman. Willie Wilson in center. Steve Lake will catch, and on the mound, the off-injured right-hander Mike Harkey.
And for Jim Fergosi's first-place Phillies, Holland, Stalker, Duncan, and Kruk on the infield. Thompson, Dykstra, Eisenreich in the outfield. Darren Dalton behind the plate, and the big left-hander, Terry Mulholland, on the mound.
And here is Mulholland, 6'3", 215-pounder. Mulholland, 30 years of age, makes his offseason home in Arizona. There are the numbers on him. Lifetime against the Chicago Cubs, he has good numbers and has pitched very, very well against this ball club, especially here at Veterans Stadium, where he's 3-2 in 8 games with a 2.88 earned run average. And the weather is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It has been a beautiful day in Philadelphia. Happy Labor Day. 84 degrees, light winds from the northwest, and the humidity finally, as we do a game here from Veterans Stadium, is way down. The umpires tonight, Larry Poncino behind the plate, Angel Hernandez at first, Bob Davidson at second, and Bill Hahn at third. And here we go to Jose Vizcaino leading it off, Cubs shortstop. And he hits the first pitch of the ball game into center field, a base hit. Mulholland is coming off a complete game against the Cubs last week when he gave up 6 hits, an earned run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts, beating them 4-1.
First pitch fastball, Vizcaíno all over it. Pitched right down the middle. Mulholland trying to get ahead.
And that'll bring up Ryne Sandberg. Phillies have not seen the Cubs here at the Vet since right at the very beginning of the season. They were here for opening day, and Ryne Sandberg was on the disabled list at that time. You see, he's on a long hitting streak, 17 gamer. His career high is 18. And a breaking ball low.
It's got to be nice to know if you're a manager that you can throw Sandberg's name in there. He's in there every day, as we see Chuck Cottier, third base coach, my former roommate. And on third base, we have
that's Jose Martinez over at first. Vizcaíno doesn't run that much. 11 times he's been caught. He's stolen 11. He's been caught 8 times. As Sandberg takes another pitch down low, 2-0. Mark Grace, another hit. Hot hitter will be following. Grace has a 12-game hitting streak. Phillies will not draw as much, of course, during the month of September. You don't get as many groups, you don't get as many kids coming out to the games as they start to go back to school. But there's going to be a good crowd here tonight, and the pitch is low and inside, 3-0. So Mulholland getting in some early trouble.
Well, you think with the Labor Day weekend and everybody really just coming back from wherever they went for 3 or 4 days, it is a pretty good crowd tonight. Like you said, the weather's just terrific.
3 balls and no strikes on Ryne Sandberg. Step off, pick off move, and he almost got Vizcaíno. Sandberg has had 16 hitting streaks of at least 10 games during his long career, as we see that quick move over there. And as I mentioned, his long is 18. He's done that twice, and he's on a 17 gamer. And he takes strike 1 called.
Cubs don't steal many bases. Coming into the series tonight, only 83 stolen bases. They've been caught 36 times, so they're not much of a running ball club.
You don't find, there's another quick move over there. You don't find too many Chicago Cub teams that are going to be running ball clubs, Jay, I guess because of that little ballpark.
Well, that's true too, but you know, you think they would have more than 83 stolen bases, especially when one guy has over 30. But
yeah, they just kind of stand around and wait for the long ball at Wrigley.
Of course, I can't say too much because the Phillies only have 85 stolen bases coming into tonight's game.
Yeah, the Phillies are not a team that runs that much. Phillies run a lot on full counts, situations like that. He doesn't go, and the pitch is inside. It's ball 4. Vizcaíno was wandering off, but I think he knew that was ball 4. Dalton, just in case Larry Poncino had called that a strike, wasn't going to take any chances. So Mulholland in immediate trouble here in the first inning on a base hit and a walk. 2 on, nobody out for hot-hitting Mark Grace, batting at .405 during his 12-game hitting streak. As you see there in the overall numbers on him, he is 5th in the league in hitting at .329. This guy just pure and simply is a good hitter.
A very good swing.
Old left-handed hitter like you has to like to watch Mark Grace.
And his swing really is tailor-made for Wrigley Field because he doesn't try and pull the ball. He tries to go with the pitch, so he can play the wind. If the wind's blowing out to right, he can turn on a little bit. And of course, if the wind's going to left, he likes to hit a lot of balls in left field, left center. So he's got a great line drive alley type swing, which is perfect for Wrigley Field.
1-0 to Mark Grace.
And you just leaving there, Chris, you know that wind can change at any time, any inning. And the only detriment that you would have as a hitter if the wind blows directly in. But
and they had that last week in one of the games that Rivera pitched. The wind was blowing straight in, and Ben really was profited by that. Gets away from Dalton, and this one's getting off to a rocky start as both runners will move up. And they scored a wild pitch, number 5 on Mulholland. It could have been a pass ball.
Seems like Dalton might have been expecting something else. Seems like Terry tonight is being very careful. He was very careful with the pitches to Sandberg, even though he had a 17-game hitting streak. Tried to nibble it, got behind on him, and walked him.
Well, he's 1 pitch away from loading him for a hot hitter, Glenn Allen Hill, on deck. And the pitch to Grace, and he walked them, and they're loaded. on a base hit and 2 walks. Now, Mulholland is one of the best control pitchers in the league. Jim Fregosi is going out himself to talk to Mulholland. He's going to Poncino first, and this is obviously to see if there's something wrong with him. And they want to waive off the trip to the mound. This would be an injury trip to the mound. And that's why the umpire is going out with Jim Fregosi.
You can see Dalton shaking his head talking to him, and Mulholland's the type of guy that even though he's hurt, he's not going to say anything. He's going to try and give you his best effort, even if it's less than 100%. And Fregosi right now turning around looking.
He wants Jeff Cooper. Jeff Cooper came out of the dugout and then just went back, and he's leaving. Something's wrong.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait to see what it is. But
they moved Mulholland into this spot tonight to keep him in his regular spot in the rotation. Rivera was supposed to go originally, and now Terry Mulholland is going to be gone here in the first inning, getting nobody out, and we have no idea what this could be. And we'll let you know as soon as we find out. And coming in from the bullpen is Mike Williams, who is eligible now, and he will get as much time as he needs to warm up.
Interesting start for the Phillies here against this hot Cub team. They've won 3 games in a row, beating the Mets the last 3 out of 4 games up in New York.
Well, not a great way to get a homestand started, but the Phillies do have some extra pitchers around now because of the expanded rosters. Now we'll see what happens. Jim Fregosi leaves, and we'll let you know as soon as possible what the story is on Terry Mulholland. We'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah, how far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the smart money is on budget. Ask for budget smart rates for great prices on cars that won't cramp your style, all with unlimited mileage. The smart money is on budget.
When good just isn't good enough.
Well, looks like you got a new pride and joy.
Well, it's not exactly new, but it's new to me.
And I see you're putting in super premium.
You bet. I saved every dollar I made for 2 years to buy this, so I'm giving it nothing but the best.
Nice car.
See what I mean?
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new superpower, Citgo.
Well, here is Mike Williams. Now, Mike Williams was taken off the roster right at the end of the month and replaced by Tony Longmire. At that point, he was not allowed to be brought back onto the roster until Scranton Wilkes-Barre had completed their season, which I believe they completed last night. Obviously they did, because he's out here. So Mike Williams isn't even on the stat sheet that they handed out tonight here at Veterans Stadium, but we have a book here with his numbers on it. He will be coming into his 13th game of the year. He's made 1 start, and he has an earned run average of 6.14, and his record is 1-0. There's Jim Fregosi on the phone. That's obviously to the people upstairs to let them know what's going on with Terry Mulholland tonight. You could see he was struggling early on. He didn't have much velocity. He had very little location at all. And here's the last pitch he throws to Mark Grace, and he shows no obvious signs of any discomfort. So whatever it is, we don't know, and we'll let you know when we find out.
It's kind of amazing just to sit there and watch him do that. But like we said before, he's not a complainer. If he's hurt, he's going to try and give you his best effort, sometimes to his own detriment. So just, Chris said, we'll just have to let you know as quick as we get the word.
So Mike Williams will be the Phillies' new pitcher. He has not pitched against the Chicago Cubs at all this year, as you look at a worried Johnny Padres on the bench and a concerned John Vukovich beside him, as Terry Mulholland has had to leave this game. Phillies have been very fortunate this year with not having many injuries, and as a result they've been able to blow out to the big lead that they've enjoyed most of the season. Williams, 29 1/3 innings, 30 hits, 21 runs, 20 of them earned, 12 walks, 1 strikeout, or 12 walks, 1 intentional, 14 strikeouts, and 4 home runs allowed. There's Tony Longmire on the bench. And Tony Longmire was added on the 31st of August, which would make him eligible for any possible postseason play. And here is Glenn Allen Hill. They got him for Candy Maldonado a few weeks ago, and he's been doing a good job. He's homered in 4 out of his last 5 starts, and he hit a pinch hit home run yesterday to win the game for the Chicago Cubs. And the first pitch to him is outside. So the crowd is kind of stunned right now. It's very quiet here as the Cubs have them loaded with nobody out in the first inning. And Mike Williams on for an injured Terry Mulholland. And the pitch, low and outside.
Kind of interesting trading an outfielder for an outfielder, huh? I guess Maldonado just does not fit in over here in Chicago.
Here are the base runners. Vizcaíno at third base, Sandberg at second, and Grace at first. The 2-0 to Hill, and it's way outside. 3-0. Well, doesn't get much worse than that.
It's only the first inning.
And it's the first inning. That's correct. Oh, he swings at it. Wow.
He wasn't having much luck over in Cleveland, only hitting .224 as you mentioned in 66 games with 5 homers and 25 RBIs.
I guess he gets a green light there, and they're thinking, let's get out 4-0 because this guy's been hot hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Glenn Allen Hill and Mark Whitten were originally traded to Cleveland from the Toronto organization. Here's a 3-1 to him. Hard ground ball, could be 2. To Stocker. Double play. A run scores, but what a trade that is. Bases loaded, a 3-0 count, nobody out. And now it's 1-0, but there are 2 outs and Sandberg's on third.
Phillies turn their 101st double play on the year. As you watch these two in action, a quick flip by Duncan. Stocker right there, the nice smooth throw. And you'll take a double play for a run when you got bases loaded, won't you?
Especially when it's 3-0. Hit the 3-1 pitch into the double play, and that'll bring up Sammy Sosa having a tremendous year. Look at those numbers. No Cub player has ever had a 30-30 season. You see Sosa needs 4 more stolen bases to get to that point. The pitch to Sammy is low and outside, ball 1. Sosa, native of the Dominican Republic, as we look at Sandberg leading off third.
You know, not only is he having a phenomenal year at the plate, but in the outfield as well. 16 outfield assists. It's pretty good for a Cubs outfielder in that ballpark.
And yet he has not been playing very well in the outfield, and they're very unhappy with him. At least they were last week. Fly ball to right field and shallow. Here comes Eisenreich on the dead run. He can't get there. It drops in for a base hit. Like Eisenreich didn't see that ball right away, and it bloops out in front of him, and the Cubs get another run and lead it 2-0. And Sammy Sosa has his 81st run batted in on the year.
Eisenreich playing fairly deep. The ball looked like it hit towards the end of the bat. Did not get a good jump, and as you can see here, he's got to head it off and then let it bounce so the ball does not go over his head.
So a 2-out hit by Sosa. We'll see if he tries to run here. As I mentioned, he wants to steal 30 bases before the year is over. He was thrown out last week at Wrigley Field trying to steal third in the ballgame. Buechele, the batter, he has been in a horrendous slump. Just 8 for his last 50. Sosa does not go, and the pitch is high, ball 1.
You know, a lot of talk about this ball club in the beginning of the baseball season, Chris, where they thought they might be a contender.
Oh, they thought they were, sure. Even though they had lost Maddox, which a lot of people didn't really think they could be without Maddox.
Well, it just goes to show you how good Greg Maddux really was for the Cubs and how well he pitched. Cy Young Award winner, and all of a sudden he leaves the Cubs and their pitching is somewhat disarray. There's some injuries have hurt the Cubs a lot too, but they really, as a team, have just not been able to sustain a big winning streak. No, they haven't had a losing streak either, but you know, it seems like they'd win 2, lose 2, win 1, lose 1.
Well, they come into play tonight just 39 and 36 at Wrigley Field, which is not good for them because they usually can dominate there. As you see the numbers on Sosa, 28 and 34 on the road. They're 67 and 70 overall, 3 games under 500. Williams concerned about Sosa, continues to move over there. Cubs have 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. If you're just tuning in, Terry Mulholland started the game. The first 3 batters reached base, and then they took him out as something was obviously wrong with him, and we have not been told what that is yet. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. It's over for a strike, 1-1.
Williams. Oh, go ahead, partner. Williams is trying to keep Sosa close, give his catcher an opportunity if he does go to throw him out. Dalton on the year throwing 37 runners out of 100, 37%, which is pretty good for a catcher.
There he goes, and it's fouled away.
A lot of catchers you'll see around the 30%. Usually 31, 32 is about average. So Dalton a little bit above average at 37%.
There's Darren Dalton. There has been a wild pitch so far in the inning. One ball, 2 strikes on Steve Buechele. Sosa ran on the last pitch. Let's see what happens here. He goes again. It's low, and there's no chance, and that's stolen base number 27 for Sammy Sosa.
Pretty hard to throw a guy stealing the base out of the ball in the dirt. Dalton did a good job of just keeping it in the glove. Crew has the replay for you here. Watch this. Sosa with a good jump. Williams' pitch bounced it up there. Dalton did a great job of not only stopping it but catching it.
So Sosa leads off second base. The count's now 2-2 on Steve Buechele. Breaking ball hit to Hollins. Throws the first, got him, and the Cubs are out here in the first inning. They pick up 2 runs. They do it with 2 hits and 1 man left on base. 2-0 Chicago.
From Hollywood Pictures, $1 million was the last thing Joey Coyle expected to find. Giving it back is the last thing he intends to do. Finders keepers. Hollywood Pictures presents the true story of a guy just trying to hold on to the American dream.
Did we steal it from anybody? No. Police! Open the door! Did we hurt anybody? No. Are we giving it back? Hell no!
John Cusack, Money for Nothing, rated R. Starts Friday, September 10th at a theater near you.
Hi, I'm Neil Hartman. Budweiser and the Phillies want to send you and a guest to the World Series. Right now, be the 5th caller to 1-800-432-1745. And you'll win a Budweiser sports bag and a replica Phillies cap. All winners then qualify for the grand prize, an all-expense-paid trip to the first 2 games of the World Series in the host American League city. So call now and pack your bags, because with a little luck, you could be on your way to the first 2 games of the World Series, compliments of Budweiser.
Well, here's your Sherwin-Williams starting lineup tonight for Jim Fragosi's Phillies. Lenny Dykstra in center field, Mariano Duncan at second, John Kruk the first baseman, Dave Hollins in the cleanup spot, Darren Dalton catching, Jim Eisenreich in right field, Milt Thompson in left, Kevin Stocker the shortstop, and on the mound now is Mike Williams.
And for Jim Lefevre, Chicago Cubs, Steve Buechele at third, Jose Vizcaíno at short, Ryan Sandberg at second, Mark Grace at first, Glenn Allen Hill in left, Willie Wilson in center, and Sammy Sosa in right field. Steve Lake, former Philly, behind the plate, and the 25-year-old Mike Harkey on the mound.
He is 6'3", 235 pounds. Harkey lives in Chino Hills, California. #1 pick of the Cubs in June of 1987, and a high pick to say the least. 4th overall in the country that year. One of the most coveted pitchers in amateur baseball. However, Mike Harkey has been hurt so much throughout his career that he's only 24 and 19 lifetime. Every year he's been in the major leagues, he's been on the disabled list at least once and sometimes twice. We'll go over some of that later on. But he has great talent, breaking ball, good hard breaking ball, fastball, and an excellent changeup. Pitched a good game against the Phillies last week, but wound up losing. Even though he went 7 strong innings, he lost 4-1 to Mulholland. And Dykstra will lead it off. Lenny with 125 runs and 113 walks and batting up over the 300 mark again. And he takes a strike from Harkey. There's Dykstra leading Bonds. And a couple of Braves are coming on strong. No kidding with the offense they've had in the last month. Giants won their ball game today 3-1. Braves play at Los Angeles later. There's a changeup off the end of the bat, but Sosa's right there. And he makes the play one away. He threw that changeup a lot last week, and there he shows Dykstra one early.
Well, his fastball sets everything up because the changeup comes off the same motion as his fastball, but obviously it's about 25 miles an hour slower. And when a hitter like Dykstra, a fastball hitter's geared for that good fastball, he's way out in front as he was on that pitch on the change.
Mariano Duncan, the batter, at 276, got the day off yesterday as Mickey Morandini played and did a good job. Duncan has a 6-game hitting streak, batting .375 during that streak, and .421 against the Cubs this year. Line drive and a base hit to left field. Loops out there in front of Glen Allen Hill. And Mariano Duncan has now hit safely in 7 straight ball games.
Harkey's pitch, as you can see here, has looked like a slider on the outside part of the plate. Duncan just went out and got it. A little looping liner to left field. Cubs outfielders had a lot of problems this year.
They have had a lot of defensive problems, right? They've had a pretty good offensive outfield. Derek May, by the way, continues to be bothered by a sore hamstring. Hurt that against the Phillies last week and has not been able to play since, or he would possibly be out there.
That's one of the big surprises for the Cubs this year, according to manager Jim Lefevre, is the play of Derek May and how he's come on and how he's matured, especially from the plate side.
There goes the runner, and Kruk beats it to the first baseman. Grace steps on the bag, and there are 2 outs. I don't know whether they're playing hit and run or what that time, but Duncan was off, and Kruk did swing at the pitch.
Looked like it had all the makings for a hit and run. As you mentioned, Duncan took off. Pitch really didn't look like a very good pitch. You can see it was way outside. Kruk tried to pull the ball. So. We're just getting the information now, folks, on Terry Mulholland.
Dave Hollins, the batter, and the pitch to Hollins is down and in. A left hip flexor strain. He has had trouble with that hip other times this year, but he's been able to get it going in the ball game and stay in the game. Tonight, obviously, he wasn't able to.
You know, that had to happen when he was warming up, because he was fine today. He was all ready to go. Those things happen when you warm up sometimes. It's hard to believe.
And the pitch to Hollins is outside. Dave with 82 runs batted in and 16 homers on the year. So the Phillies find themselves in a 2-0 hole here in the first inning. The only good thing about the situation is with the expanded roster, there are some more pitchers around. When you start a 7-game homestand with no off days and lose your starter in the first inning, it could be tough.
Well, they've got a few extra players too, so
yep,
gives Jim Fregosi a little latitude to do various things.
Duncan leads off second base. There are 2 outs here in the first inning and a 2-1 count on Hollins. Dave has 7 runs batted in his last 6 games. He hit the ball well on the last road trip. Harkey misses down and in. Harkey's only pitched in 4 games against the Phillies since coming into the league back in 1989. He made his major league debut against the Phillies on September 5th of '88 at Wrigley Field. Second game of a doubleheader. He had a no decision, pitching 6 shutout innings. '88 his rookie year. As Hollins fouls it off right below us. Was a 3-year star at Cal State Fullerton. As I mentioned, one of the most coveted pitchers in the draft that year. The draft of 1987, the 4th overall pick in baseball.
I have to tell you, I was doing the games for ESPN on the Pac-10 out there, Chris, and when he pitched in college, he really let it fly. His fastball was over 90 miles an hour.
Hollins pops it up, shallow center field. Playable for Willie Wilson. Drifts in, waits, gloves it, fills her out here in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 2-0 Cubs after 1.
If you want your car done right, bring it to a place that puts its money where its mouth is. Bring it to Jiffy Lube, where millions of cars every year are covered by our pledge of satisfaction.
Everybody says they'll do the job right, but at Jiffy Lube, we guarantee it. One more reason, Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
When Bob borrowed a lawnmower, all he got was short grass. When Bob borrowed hedge clippers, all he got was nice shrubs. When Bob borrowed a ladder, all he got was red shutters. When Bob borrowed a hose, all he got was wet. But when Bob borrowed money, he got indispensable banking services. The Mellon PSFS Smart Accounts. The package accounts for people who borrow as well as save.
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
Cento Italian Food Products. They're rooting for the Phillies this season because for every Phillies home run, they donate $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Center. This year, Cento's given the Child Guidance Center $28,600 on the 143 homers the Phillies have hit, and looking to give a whole lot more. So when you go to your grocery store, look on that shelf of over the 100 fine labels from Cento Products.
Birthday greetings tonight to Ricky Kane of Darby from Mom, Dad, and Grandmom, and to Norm Matheson from Lumberton, New Jersey, who is 80. Willie Wilson, the batter. And Wilson takes it high and outside, ball 1. Willie Wilson. He did not have a good World Series here in 1980, as everybody remembers. Final out of that World Series as Tugger struck him out. He had like 12 strikeouts in that World Series, set a record at the time. And Wilson then went on to have a great career, mostly with Kansas City. He's been a big disappointment for the Cubs. For example, this is his 200th at-bat, and he has 6 RBIs.
Yes, well, you know, last year with Oakland, he hit 270. They thought, you know, he still had some pop left. But like you said, in Chicago, with the wind blowing, they thought they could get a few more RBIs out of him. Nothing this year.
Fouled out of play.
Very surprising.
Yeah, he has 8 doubles and 3 triples and no homers. And as I mentioned, a major disappointment has been Willie Wilson this year for the Cubs, as he just kind of spoils that pitch. It was on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. Pops another one foul out of play left side.
You know, you look at his average, 241. His lifetime is 286. Give you an idea of the kind of years that he's had. In this about, let's see, what does he play? He's played a little over 15 years in the big leagues.
Mike Williams' pitch and a breaking ball. He swings and misses. Strikeout number 1 for Mike Williams. 1 out here in the 2nd inning.
Williams pulls the string on this breaking ball. He starts it up. Ball comes down on the outside part of the plate. Williams way out in front of this one, as you can see, kind of just flailing his arms through it, knowing he was a little bit out in front, laughing about it a little bit.
So down on strikes is Willie Wilson. Here's Steve Lake, the former Philly, playing tonight. Mulholland, the left-hander, starting, so they played Lake, and they put Rick Wilkins on the bench with his 25 homers. Lake batting at .225. He's hit 4 homers, knocked in 11 in part-time role for the Cubs. Breaking ball misses inside. Lake was with the Phillies several times and was plagued by injuries, but is a good backup catcher. This is his 34th game behind the plate. He's thrown out 11 out of 20 base runners trying to steal against him. Lake has always been a good defensive player. He fouls that one back. 2-1 to Steve Lake. On deck, the pitcher Mike Harkey. Cubs 2, Phillies nothing in the 2nd inning. Here's Jeff Mantua as one of the recalls while the Phillies were on the last road trip. Have a number of new faces in that dugout. We'll show them to you throughout the night. You've already seen Tony Longmire. There's a swing and a miss by Lake.
Well, you got to give Steve Lake a lot of credit. He has done a very good job in his backup role as we see his average with the Phillies. He was with the Phillies from 89, 90, 91, and 2. But over 10 years in the big leagues he has.
And he hits a fly ball to shallow right center field where Dykstra runs Eisenreich off the play. Grabs it. 2 outs here in the second for Mike Harkey, an 87 batter.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you can get over 10 years in the big leagues, you've done something.
Number 22, pitcher Mike Harkey.
Yeah, well, Lake always did a good job when he was healthy here as the backup catcher. The problems with him were he was getting hurt quite a bit the last few years. Harkey the batter. And the pitch to Mike Harkey is down low. Harkey has 4 hits on the season and 46 at bats, and he struck out 16 times. Lifetime 188 hitter. Another fastball, and this one's over. 1-1. Mike Williams replacing Terry Mulholland in the first inning. Mulholland leaving with a left hip problem without retiring a batter, and Harkey beats it foul third base side. Nice night at Veterans Stadium, mid-80s at game time, low humidity, and that fan has himself a souvenir.
You would think as big as Mike Harkey is, he'd be a little bit better of a batter.
You know, he was a little bit before this year. As I mentioned, he's a 188 lifetime hitter, but this year batting at just 087. His average was over 200 coming into this year. He has never homered, and he's knocked in 4 runs. And Williams misses outside, 3-2.
Well, maybe a lot of the injuries that he's had has led to his dismal year this year. Sometimes it looks like that shoulder injury, when you do get him, as he fouled this pitch off, kind of tampers your swing a little bit. Some guys are afraid to let it go, and of course, as Chris said, he's been plagued by several injuries.
Mostly shoulder. Labrum problems in his shoulder. And he struck him out. Williams has a good second inning, 3 up and 3 down for the Cubs. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Chicago.
Yeah, how far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the smart money is on budget. Ask for budget smart rates for great prices on cars that won't crap your style, all with unlimited mileage. The smart money is on budget.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
You'll get a great-looking Phillies poster free, compliments of Acme, plus plenty of fun surprises when the Phillies play the Braves on Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, September 26th at 1:35. Reserve your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
The Phillies battle the Cubs in an Eastern Division showdown live from the Vet Tuesday night at 7:30, exclusively on Prism. The home stretch is here.
And back here at the Vet on a nice night for baseball. Chris Wheeler with Jay Johnstone. And Gary Maddox coming along later. Happy number 79 tonight that Ted Lamp flew. We don't have any hometown for him. And then Louis Polino of South Philadelphia, who is 60. And also we'd like to send birthday wishes along to Betsy Fryman, wife of Bob Woody Fryman, who was in Dream Week with us a few years ago. So happy birthday to Betsy. And that lady is not enthralled right now with this contest.
She was meditating.
She came here to see Mulholland pitch.
Either that or she was praying for him.
Phillies trail at 2-0 in the second inning, and Darren Dalton will lead it off, followed by Jim Eisenreich. Oh, she'll never live that down. People are watching, their friends and people at work. Better not be late for work tomorrow. She's getting her rest tonight.
That's one way to go to a Phillies game. Get a little cat nap here at the top of the second.
You get the 2 minutes between innings, so go ahead. How about this? The only team in history of baseball to have 3 players walk over 100 times. The Phillies. You see Bonds in there also over 100. Dalton swings and misses.
I'll tell you what, Hollins is having a pretty good year on that too.
Hollins probably would have had a shot at it if he hadn't been injured.
Sure. He's got 68 walks coming into tonight, and he probably could have had another 20 if he wasn't out those games.
See, Dalton has been on base 23 out of the last 24. The one game that he wasn't was yesterday at Riverfront Stadium, where he took a collar, an 0 for 5. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Darren Dalton. And a ground ball in the hole and a base hit. So Dalton on with a hit. That is hit number 2 for the Phillies. Both of them singles, and Eisenreich the batter.
Harkey tried to get a fastball on the outer part of the plate. It caught too much of the plate. We saw Dalton went down and got it. Even though it was a little outside, he still turned on it, hit it on the turf.
And Jim Eisenreich, the batter, is Darren Dalton on. Eisenreich with a 9-game hitting streak, batting .441 during that streak. And he takes it up high, ball 1. He has a current streak of hits in 5 consecutive at-bats. This is a very valuable player. And it's over for a strike.
You know, when the Phillies start looking around and pointing out who's going to be their MVP player of the season, I'll tell you, it's going to be tough this year. The job that Dykstra's done leading off, the job that Incabilla's done on left field, the job that this kid's done here at the vet. Wow.
Base hit up the middle for Eisenreich. He's hitting 10 straight. He has 6 consecutive hits and 6 at-bats.
You know, you talk about a guy that makes it so simple. See the ball, hit the ball. Look at this. Short stride, doesn't have much movement. All he tries to do is put the bat on the ball, and it's nothing but little line drive base hits.
And that'll bring up Milt Thompson, batting at .258. Here's what Eisenreich has done here at Veterans Stadium this year. He's obviously liked this yard. Thompson's a .400 hitter lifetime off Harkey, 4 for 10. So the Phillies have their first 2 men on in the inning. Stocker's on deck, and they trail 2-0. And the pitch from Harkey's a breaking ball low. Harkey has 2 losses, 2 no decisions in his last 4 starts. His last win was 5-1 at Florida on the 12th of August. The 1-0 to Milt. Base hit left field. They're going to have to hold Dalton at third as Glenn Howland Hill gets it right back in. So the Phillies have them loaded with nobody out here in the second inning on 3 straight singles.
You know, Chris, one of the things that to make Harkey an effective pitcher is he has to have velocity on his fastball. Look at this pitch here, right down the center of the plate. And I don't care how fast you throw the ball, when you start throwing the ball down the center of the plate, you're going to get hit. Now, one of his best pitches off his fastball is his changeup, and we've seen it use it on Dykstra, and Dykstra popped up. It was ahead of him, but his fastball doesn't seem to have that quick pop as he's had in the past.
And Milt Thompson now 5 for 11 lifetime against him. Here's Kevin Stocker, had a couple of hits yesterday and batting a solid .337. He's sneaking up on 200 at bats. He has 172 of them. And the pitch hitting. Kevin Stocker is hit by a pitch. A run will score, and it's a 2-1 game. Here comes Billy Connors, the pitching coach, out to have a talk with Harkey.
Stocker not too happy about it, but if you're going to hit somebody, you're not going to hit him with bases loaded. Look at this pitch. It was a slider, and he started so far inside Then it broke down and hit him on his right calf. Look at that. He started the ball inside the catcher. Lake had no chance whatsoever.
So Mike Williams will get a chance to hit with the bases loaded and nobody out. Williams is 0 for 6 on the season with 3 strikeouts.
Well, we want to wish a big happy 50th birthday to Al Schoen of Schoen's Deli in Glen Olden, PA. So a happy birthday to Sandra France, Mount Joy, PA. She's 47.
Jim Lefebvre looks on as his ball club's in a lot of trouble here. Mike Williams has 4 major league hits. He was 4 for 10 last year with a couple of RBIs. Bases loaded, nobody out, a run in for the Phillies. They trail 2-1. And the pitch to Williams misses down low, ball 1. Stocker at first, Thompson at second, and Eisenreich at third. Phillies with good speed on the bases.
Well, this is where a pitcher can help himself out. You see a lot of pitchers that don't have very good averages. All the pitcher wants to do here is put the bat on the ball.
Strike 1, says Larry Poncino. 1-1.
Of course, there are some people say that they don't want the pitcher to do that because if they hit the ball on the ground, it could be an easy double play.
Stocker's 26 run batted in. Yeah, Dykstra to follow, and then Duncan. He beats it foul towards the Cubs dugout on the third base side. 1-2 on Mike Williams.
Even though the Cubs have not had the services of Sean Dunston, they still are second in the National League in double plays with 139. So a very good double play combination the Cubs bring into the park tonight.
Ray Sanchez has also done a good job at shortstop for them, as you see Williams choking up, trying to put it in play, and he does. And we'll see if they get the double play. They did. That's what you're talking about, Jay. The one thing you didn't want to see happen. He hit it and hits into a double play. The Phillies tie the game, but now there are 2 outs and a runner at third base. So both teams tonight have hit into bases loaded, no out double plays.
Well, that's the one drawback about a pitcher hitting the ball on the ground or getting the bat on the ball is a double play. But a lot of times pitchers don't get the opportunity to bat with bases loaded, and tonight it hurt the Phillies.
No RBI on the play. It's a ball game at 2-2, and Dykstra the batter with Thompson on at third, 2 outs, and Harkey will work from the stretch. And Lenny takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. He had a change up to right field his first time up. Grabbed by Sammy Sosa. Glenn Allen Hill in left. Willie Wilson in center, and Sosa in right as Thompson leads off third. Seen him do that all year.
Wow. I think he just wanted to bring Buechele in a little bit, maybe, or fake it.
Lenny Dykstra does not bunt. All these hits, all the times he's on base, you look at Buechele, the third baseman, and they're not because of bunts.
Hey, it's Labor Day. You never know.
Well, I'll guarantee you he has a reason. That's just not something he did for the heck of it. And you ask him after the game, he'll have it well thought out. He always does. He's fun to talk baseball with. Lenny Dykstra, he's, in my opinion, the Phillies MVP this year. Fouled away, left side, now to play.
Well, I can tell you maybe one reason is that if you look at the Cubs defense, Vizcaíno and Sandberg both are playing almost behind the white line into the outfield area. Vizcaíno has moved on the line now, but you can see Sandberg is a couple of steps behind the white line, and you know, if you fake a bunt, you got a chance maybe to move these infielders in a couple steps, and on AstroTurf a couple steps come into base hit if the ball's hit either way.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Lenny with 2 outs. The pitch to him. Popped it up, third base side. Buechele off the line and near the stands. Does he have room? Yes, he does. He takes it away from those fans. Good play by Steve Buechele. Phillies are out of the second inning, but they pick up 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and leave 1 on base. 2-2 after 2.
Come on, let's get a cold one. Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm going to go back.
What? Foul ball? No, I'm not. Foul ball!
Foul ball? Foul ball? Out the way!
I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
Yeah, you're right, Judd. There's no beach traffic.
Easy. I went out. There's a Coke machine.
Man, I'm so hot.
You certainly are.
Hot as in sweaty.
Okay, so crank on the AC.
Air conditioning is for the weak, like yourself.
I'm sticking to the seat like yourself.
That
Please.
dog is moving faster than we are.
All you guys ever do is complain.
Your shoes are pretty.
Could someone please fan me?
No.
Coca-Cola, anyone?
Yay!
Thank you, Alan, for serving a purpose in my life for the first time.
You're very welcome.
Time together.
Do Texaco food marts really have everything?
Oh, they have gum, cheese, candy.
Many reasons I come to Texaco.
Chips, cereals, nice people.
There are many reasons.
You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, you don't need it.
Isn't that candy that pulls apart like that?
Did I skip something?
Visit your Texaco station and food mart for unbeatable System 3 gasoline.
Pop comes here for System 3, and I come here for Pop. Right, Mom?
And just about everything else.
I'd recommend it to anybody. And I would, too.
You'll get a great-looking Phillies poster free, compliments of Acme, plus plenty of fun surprises when the Phillies play the Braves on Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, September 26th at 1:35. Reserve your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
Well, this homestand ends on Sunday with the Astros coming to town at 1:35, and a great back-to-school gift for all fans 14 and under, a red backpack with the Phillies logo, compliments of Campbell's Soup. Here's Vizcaíno, who began the game with a single to center and scored a run. Make your plans to come on out for some great baseball and a great gift. Call 463-1000 or stop by any one of the many local Ticketmaster outlets. That's Backpack Day, Sunday, the Phillies and the Astros at 1:35. Another breaking ball by Mike Williams, and he gets it over. No balls and 2 strikes on Vizcaíno. Batting at .283. Jose is a switch hitter, and he's hit well lifetime against the Phillies.
I'd say pretty much a first ball hitter, too, because the first pitch that Mulholland gave him in the first inning was a fastball. He jumped on that one, and Williams starts him off with a curveball, and he lined it in the right field seats foul. Happy birthday, Helen Riley, 75 years old from Northeast Philadelphia. We wish you a good one today.
Another breaking ball hit the Kruk. He gobbles it up, steps on the bag, 1 down. Vizcaíno, he's starting his 60th game tonight as the Cubs shortstop.
Happy birthday to Denise Harmon of Levittown, PA. She's 23. And also happy birthday to Crystal Young. She's 14. And Dave Clemento is the godfather, and Roy Young is the uncle. Both those guys are terrific guys on our grounds crew here under the head groundskeeper, Ralph Frangipane.
That Dave Planamento could play some golf, too.
Oh, can he?
Former assistant pro.
I noticed that when I see him walking around with Ping golf clubs.
Yeah.
It gives you an idea.
Yeah, he'll help you with your swing. Just ask him. He's very good at giving out advice. He's very nice about that. I know that it helps us, but we sure do ask him. It sure helps Dave. 1-0 to Sandberg, and Rhino swings and fouls it off Darren Dalton. Sandberg walked and scored in the first inning.
I wonder if he knows how to hit out of a creek.
Oh, those guys they all pull off those miraculous shots. Darren Dalton with a foul ball. Yaha.
Didn't even get the glove on that one.
Sandberg fouls it back.
Who would have ever thought that a little scrawny looking kid named Ryan Sandberg, a throw-in on the DeJesus trade for Larry Bowa and Sandberg over to the Cubs, would ever turn out to be this guy here?
What a player. He's had a tough season this year because he got a late start with a broken hand. But he is hot right now. As we mentioned, he has a 17-game hitting streak, and he will be Larry Rosen's subject in the Superstar Gallery coming up after this half inning, and he'll talk about that trade. Fouled out of play. Ryan Sandberg could conceivably become the all-time home run hitting second baseman. Number 1 guy right now, of course, is Joe Morgan, who has 266. Sandberg has 240 lifetime home runs, 235 of them as a second baseman. So if he stays healthy, continues to play, he should pass that easily.
He normally gives you a good 20 home runs a year. And like I said, he was really hurt at the beginning of this year. It took him a long time to get started, get back in the swing of things from that broken hand.
9 homers this year, down from his normal totals. He loves that ball middle in, and they're trying to stay away from him. And they'd stay away from him, and he hits at the crux. That's the way to get Sandberg out. And Rhino grounds out to first base. 2 outs.
Mike Williams read the scouting reports correctly. Look at the pitch here. He throws Sandberg. Starts it on the outside part of the plate. It stays out there. Only thing Sandberg can do is go the other way with it.
And Mark Grace, the batter. He walked in the first inning. The final batter that Mulholland faced before they finally lifted Terry with what we later was told was a sore left hip, a hip flexor tendon problem. Grace tries to check. He does not, says Larry Poncino, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The Cubs are seeing Mike Williams for the first time. Scranton's season ended on Saturday night, so Williams now eligible, and Jim Fregosi really needing him tonight. A backdoor breaking ball just misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-2-0 for the Cubs, 2-4-0 Phillies. We are in the 3rd.
No, I'll tell you something about this kid Grace. Everybody talks about what a pure left-hand hitter he is. What a break it is for Mark Grace to have a guy on the bench by the name of Billy Williams to be able to tutor him. Billy Williams, the hitting coach for the Cubs, a great hitter for many years, in the Hall of Fame, and pretty much similar styles of hitting.
And Grace walks again. That's the first walk issued by Mike Williams. There is Sweet Swinging Billy, one of the great hitters in this game, an Iron Man too. He had a long consecutive game playing streak at one point in his tremendous Cubs career.
Like 12 or 1400. It was finally broken in 1983 by Steve Garvey. That's a lot of games in a row.
He could hit, that man. And here is Glenn Allen Hill. He grounded into a double play in the first inning. It really got the Phillies out of potential big trouble. Scored a run, and they added another to make it 2-0. Since then, the Phillies have tied it at 2. He beats one back through the middle, and a good play by Mike Williams, who throws him out. Cubs out here in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. To the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's a 2-2 ball game now. Time for a visit to the Superstars Gallery as Larry Rosen visits with that man right there, future Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg.
No, we will never know what might have been. 10-time All-Star Ryne Sandberg was a 20th round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies in 1978. He debuted as a Philly in 1981, getting his first major league hit, his last as a Philly. He was traded with Larry Bowa to the Cubs for shortstop Ivan DeJesus and never looked back. Now he's a future Hall of Famer, the acknowledged dominant second baseman for a decade. Sandberg still remembers being stunned by the trade, but saw an opportunity that was missing in Philadelphia.
You know, first of all, I was given a chance to play every day, you know, right out of AAA at a young age. And I think that's really helped my career overall. You know, getting a lot of playing time that first year, 1982, given a chance to play, and you know, I think that's what players need sometimes, is a chance and some at bats, some games played, and you know, I was given a great chance and a great opportunity, and just tried to make the most of it.
That he did, leaving Phillies fans to always look back with remorse at what might have been.
And there's the other half of that deal. Larry Bowa in that trade, along with Ivan DeJesus coming to the Phillies. Hey, you make some good ones, you make some bad ones.
That was a bad one.
Yeah. Larry knows that too.
The Cubs loved it, though.
There's those home run leaders at second base we were just talking about. You see Sandberg behind Rogers Hornsby and Joe Gordon, of course Joe Morgan, the #1 guy, and Sandberg with a good chance to beat that before his great career ends. Mariano Duncan, the batter. Duncan singled his first time up, takes a fastball high. It'll be Duncan, Kruk, and Hollins to face Mike Harkey here in the third inning. Foul ball, third base side. Cubs got 2 in the first, Phillies with 2 in the second. That's where we stand here in the bottom of the third. Montreal won their game this afternoon as we look at Ruben Amaro back from AAA, where he did a tremendous job after being sent down. Duncan hits a rocket, and Buechele makes a tremendous play. That ball's a double in the corner, speared by Steve Buechele, 1 away.
Duncan waiting for this pitch. It was looks like a slider in the same position as his base hit. This time he waited and hit the ball a little bit harder, and he has nothing to show for it. His first at bat, he got a slider on the outside part of the plate and got a little looping single to left field. This time he has better timing and lines out.
Buechele's a fine defensive third baseman. He makes a good play there. Kruk takes a breaking ball inside. To mention, Montreal won their ball game today. They got 2 in the 8th to beat the Colorado Rockies at the Big O. Phillies coming into play tonight with a 9-game lead. And they still, at this point, have 10 games in the loss column. .26 left, including tonight.
26, huh?
.13 at home and 13 on the road. Phillies will finish the season on the road at Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Astros are coming in here next week. And then the final week of home games for the Phillies will have Florida here. Long drive, deep left field, but it's dying on the warning track, and Glenn Allen Hill makes the play. Florida and the Atlanta Braves will be the final home games of the year. Clark hit that pretty well. He must have just gotten it on the end of the bat a little.
When it left the bat, the left fielder Hill started going back, looked like he was going to go all the way to the fence, and the ball kind of died a little bit. Maybe he did hit it off the end of the bat. I'm looking at the flags. The flags are blowing a little bit out to left field, Chris.
It's one of those balls at Wrigley when that wind's blowing out. That's deep in those bleachers. Hollins hit a fly ball to center his first time up. Takes a breaking ball from Harkey over for strike 1.
I imagine you could canvass every player in the big leagues that has ever played in Wrigley Field, and they would have you a horror story to tell about the wind in Wrigley Field.
Well, when you come back, tell me yours. Right up the chute, here comes Buechele down the line, waits, grabs it. Strong inning for Mike Harkey. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Through 3, 2-2.
We're gonna have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only one left. You take it.
I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Not so fast. Yes.
Now appearing, a well-equipped Dodge Shadow for around $10,000. Spirit, the lowest priced 6-passenger car out there, around $12,100. Or own a Caravan, including air at no extra charge for under $15,100.
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
right, back here at Veterans Stadium. Gary Maddox joins us here in the 4th inning. It is Labor Day. Phillies have a nice little lead in the National League East. You've been there before this time of the year. Does it get a little more exciting now?
Never. It seems like we always won it on the last day of the season. To me, you never get comfortable with your lead. There's some excitement that builds, no question about it, when you have a lead like the Phillies have. But you know, you're not going to count your chickens before they hatch. You're not going to divide up that share that they give out at the end of the year until you determine that you're in there for good.
You don't hear people around the ball club talking like it's over yet. That's for sure.
They're talking about it on the street, though.
No, I don't blame them. In Montreal, I'm sure they're saying right now, hey, we can catch those guys.
They don't remember that shellacking they got the last time.
Sammy Sosa, the batter. Sammy blooped the single to right his last time up. It almost looked as if Eisenreich didn't see the ball right away.
Yeah, you know, somebody like Sosa, big home run hitter, takes that big swing. It's hard to maintain your ground, or at least to come in. Your first move is always to take a step back, and that time it cost Eisenreich.
See, Mike Williams has thrown 50 pitches since coming in the first inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. Both runs in the game charged to the starter, Terry Mulholland. Here's the 0-2 to Sammy. He will chase breaking balls. He's got a lot of hot dog in him, and he's fun to watch. See him flip that bat then. This guy does a lot of things good and a lot of things bad, but he's very entertaining.
Who do you think his hero was? Check that number out.
Roberto Clemente.
Looks like him.
He does. He even looks like him. Yeah. I bet I could have been.
Yeah, I'm just taking a guess there, but
going to need Williams because this guy can run, and Mike Williams covers and Clark flips it to him, one away.
He got down that line like Clemente. I mean, if Clemente, when he hit a ball right back to the pitcher, you know, we saw it in the World Series where he hit a ball back to the mound, ran so hard that it was thrown away. And Sosa, he got down that line pretty good.
Sammy Sosa with 31 homers, 27 steals now as he got one tonight, trying to become the first Cub to ever go 30-30. Sandberg never did it. Steve Buechele, the batter, he has grounded out.
That's really surprising when you think about it.
Sandberg hit 40 home runs, but he never stole 30 bases.
You know, it's really difficult to do it on a dirt field. You know, dirt where you can't. You get out there some days and it seems like you're like plowing up a few acres when you run.
Another ground ball, and Duncan throws out Buechele, and Mike Williams continues to do a good job in emergency relief here tonight. 2 down.
Heck, if the Cubs want to see a right-handed Terry Mulholland, they got him right out there. I mean, they both rely on the same type of things, getting the ball in locations, off-speed pitches, keeping the hitters off balance. Williams doing a good job of it.
Willie Wilson, the batter, he struck out his first time up off Mike Williams.
I mean, he really looked bad. Here's a guy that's a contact hitter. Williams really showed himself.
We're talking about him, how disappointing he's been. Gary's at 200 at bats right now with 6 RBIs. So he has had a very tough season for the Cubs. They really thought they'd get a lot more out of him.
Well, I think if you realize how good an athlete Willie Wilson is, how good a player he was, you would go in there thinking that he would produce a little bit more. Unfortunately, it just hasn't happened.
1-0 on Willie Wilson. Fastball fouled away. Looks like he's got a lot of movement up there right now. He's kind of late on his swing.
It is, and it's a big swing. It appears to be. I haven't seen much of Willie this year, but man, he could really hit a lot of triples. Hit the ball hard the other way in the gaps. That was the type of hitter he was.
Hit decent wheels too. Look at he run.
Man, I remember we had the super teams in Hawaii where it was the 2 teams that were in the 1980 World Series. It was us and Kansas City where we competed against them. And you know that big wall that they have you have to climb over? Willie Wilson jumped to the top. Everybody else had to use the rope. He jumped to the top.
He nails this one. Dykstra got a decent jump, but he can't get to it, and it will bounce over the wall. It's a ground rule double for Willie Wilson. Nailed that ball to deep left center. That is the second hit given up by Mike Williams.
Well, I don't know if he got this ball exactly where he wanted, but it was up. And Wilson just drives it. Dykstra playing him in a little bit, not respecting that much power the other way. Rightfully so.
So there's a base open now. Steve Lake, the batter, with 2 outs, and they'll go after him. Lake fly to shallow center his first time up. Batting at 223. almost made a bad pitch to him. That ball ran in.
He did make a bad pitch. It wasn't no almost to it. He just yanked it foul.
When Willie Wilson hit that wall like that, were you guys looking for a trampoline somewhere?
You know, the thing about it was you had to have a combined team score. There were some other players that had to go after him, but he set the pace, jumped to the top of the wall.
Here he is at second. Darren Dalton just went out and had a little word with Mike Williams like, hey, we don't want this ball middle in now. The way that one just was. They don't want to walk Steve Lake here, but they don't want him to hurt him either with 2 outs and a base open. Pitcher Mike Harkey on deck. And they go away from him, and he got another one inside. There it goes to left. Milt Thompson comes up throwing. Strong throw to the plate, and Wilson is safe.
Boy, that's what he can still do. He got off at the crack of the bat. I mean, when he hit third, he put it in overdrive. It was too late. That ball was hit pretty good, and Milt Thompson had it in a hurry. But he accelerated between third and home.
He did run, but another bad pitch. I mean, he hung a breaking ball inside to Steve Lake.
No question. Lake, you want to keep the ball away from him. He did hang that. Here's Milt Thompson coming up. Not a whole lot of steps, but firing. And Willie Wilson, they say you can't outrun the ball. Look at him hit Darren Dalton's leg. Darren, anticipating the throw, stuck his leg out in front. Watch here how Darren sticks his leg out in front of the plate to block, and Wilson just hits it hard and spins it out of the way.
Little looper to left by Harkey, and Thompson's there and makes the play. But the Cubs score a 2-out run on a double and a single. In the inning, 1 run on those 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. 3-2, Cubs lead it.
There are 2 ways to put a movie theater in your home. You could build one. Or you could simply buy the giant 35-inch RCA home theater with SRS sound. It's the easiest way to get a movie theater in your home.
RCA home theater products available at all American appliance stores throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I said to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's called taking your lumps. Cash 5. All the cash all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash all at once.
Rest of the homestand. The Cubs are here for 3 more. This is a 4-game series. Now Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they will all start at 7:35. Then the Houston Astros in for the weekend. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. Time is winding down here in the regular season, so call 463-1000 for your tickets. And here's another look, Gary, at the throw by Milt Thompson.
Yeah, and watch Darren Dalton stick his leg out here. A lot of catchers can get hurt. They say Willie Mays, when he saw you stick your leg out like that, he used to jump right into it. And Willie Wilson just knocked Darren's leg out of the way there. Close play, good throw, but Willie Wilson's speed beat that.
That's how Darren Dalton hurt his knee the first time when he was hit at the plate by Mike Heath of the Cardinals. Dalton swings and misses. Darren singled and scored his first time up.
If you see that leg out there before you start your slide, you have to go at it. That's the only thing that's going to allow you to get through the catcher there. If you don't see it, he can block you out a lot of time.
Well, what they hope to do, of course, is stick it out there at the last second and spin the guy off.
Or if he tries to score standing up, you trip him.
1 ball and 1 strike on Dalton, followed by Eisenreich and then Thompson. Phillies with 4 hits in the game, all singles. Cubs lead it by a score of 3-2 in the 4th inning. Dalton takes a sinker low. Harkey throwing fastball. Looks like he's throwing two kinds of fastballs. Breaking ball and an occasional straight change.
Fastball that he's trying to sink, he's getting up in the strike zone a lot. Guys are taking that right back up the middle.
He's not throwing anywhere near as hard as he was last week. He really had a good fastball in that game at Wrigley. Looked like he might shut the Phillies out that day, and then he made a key error at first base, and the Phillies came out and got a couple runs after that and wound up beating him. Dalton fouls it back and the count full.
You know, a lot of guys that have arm problems, when they come back from them, the thing they can't do is repeat that performance of throwing consistently hard. The Cubs are very happy to have Harkey back.
Dalton rips it back through the middle. It looked like it might have been ball 4, but Dalton is a low ball hitter, and he nailed that one. He's 2 for 2 off Harkey tonight.
Here's a pitch from Harkey right here. You know, it's supposed to be a sinker. It starts low, but doesn't even go down. It has movement, but it's not going down at all. Darren Dalton did the going down, and he knocked it right back up the middle.
Dalton just 1 for 8 lifetime off Harkey coming into this game. 2 for 2 off him tonight. And here's Eisenreich, who singled back through the middle his first time up. And Jim takes it over for a strike. Phillies are on a little extra base famine right now. They have not picked up an extra base hit since Eisenreich doubled in the 4th inning Saturday night at Cincinnati. Now have 27 straight singles. And you know this team's about due to bust out of that. Fouled away, left side and out of play.
Well, you surely can't place him. Nobody's going up there trying to hit singles. All you want to do is go up there and make good contact. And, you know, the rest, the extra base hits and all that will take care of itself.
And they'd have had one tonight if Bouchot hadn't made that leaping catch on Mariano Duncan his last time up. 0-2 on Eisenreich. Low and inside. On deck is Milt Thompson. He also has a base hit. Phillies have out-hit the Cubs 5-4. Trail it by a run 3-2 as Thompson waits.
Both teams able to get out of jams with a double play.
Bases loaded, no out, both teams. Eisenreich hits it hard, but right at Willie Wilson. Boy, he hit that right on the nose, and Wilson playing it perfectly. 1 away.
Steve Lake, I mean, an obvious move inside is where he wanted the ball. He got it in there, but Eisenreich just right on it. I mean, the ball inside like that, he just drops the head of the bat on the ball away. He lines it to left field.
That'll bring up Thompson. Milt has a base hit. Also a single. He flared one to left his last time up. And it's outside. Phillies are getting some bullpen activity with the bottom of the lineup coming up. Stocker due to bat next, and then Mike Williams. And it is Roger Mason, who has not pitched for a while, starting to loosen.
So that rest that the Phillies bullpen got will definitely come in handy.
Will get tested now.
Oh, well, I heard your show today with Fregosi. He was talking about how he was able to use Anderson when he wanted, West when he wanted to. He's going to get a chance now to possibly pinch hit for Williams if he gets up.
We have that expanded roster now, too. There are extra pitchers on the ball club. Thompson swings and misses. And it's 2-1 on Milt Thompson. Milt with good lifetime numbers against the Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people have good numbers against the Cubs, not because they're poor pitching, but because of that ballpark. You know, you go in there, your confidence is up. You get a lot of hits that you're not expecting to get.
I know you had some big games at Wrigley.
Oh, yeah.
Home run games, doubles.
All of it.
Yeah.
5 for 5.
Right.
Well, you know, and everybody, I think, has had them there in Chicago. It's just a feeling of being out there knowing that, you know, anything you could hit might jump out of the ballpark, and sometimes it does.
Although there's those days you show up there and those flags are blowing in, and it's one of the biggest ballparks in the league.
That's what I'm saying about that time. You know, the Cubs never having someone in the 30-30 club.
Thompson, a chopper. Vizcaíno's right near the bag, steps on it, throws to first, and got the double play. Vizcaíno right on the bag. Phillies are gone. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. We're through 4, and it's 3-2.
Save now on every #1 selling Ford at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. It's Ford's factory authorized clearance. Now get a double rebate on America's #1 selling car, Ford Taurus. That's $500 cash back plus $500 clearance bonus for a total clearance cash back of $1,000. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
See your Ford dealer today. Get behind the wheel and turn the key.
Hurry! Ford's factory authorized clearance ends soon.
Just last year, John Pasmato scaled the rocky slopes of Kilimanjaro, trekked through the murky waters of the Amazon, and captained a tall ship through the treacherous Strait of Magellan.
Mellon PSFS employees are giving their time to help people embark on some of the greatest adventures of their lives.
All it took was learning to read.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And some more Gary Maddox's happy friends here at the ballpark tonight as...
Yeah, that's Geraldo Santa there.
Yeah, there he is.
And Monica.
Monica Castillo.
Yeah. They're in the house.
And this is Juan Samuel.
That really was.
Here's Jose Vizcaíno.
That was supposed to be the double play we were coming back to.
We'll get to that later. Hadn't seen Sammy for a couple days, actually yesterday.
All right, so we let the double play go so that you people could get some feeling of the atmosphere here in the ballpark, with the weddings and stuff.
The engagement, yeah. Vizcaíno swung at the first pitch all 3 times tonight. He is 1 for 2 with a run scored as he fouls this off down the third base line. Top of the order for the Cubs, Vizcaíno, Sandberg, and Grace. Mike Williams could be in his final inning of work.
There they are. There's Geraldo and Monica.
I guess she said yes. Keep waiting for that one some night where the girl says, nah. Have to get the camera off him, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jose Vizcaíno, the Cubs shortstop, making start number 60 at that position tonight. They have used Ray Sanchez there also, as Sean Dunston is just back after 2 years of back miseries. Fly ball shallow left center field, an easy play for Thompson, who drifts in, squeezes it, 1 down here in the 5th. Mike Williams coming on with nobody out in the first inning, and this is what he has done. He has done a good job in long relief. Cubs lead the game 3-2. He has 1 pitch he'd like to get back. It's the one to Lake, obviously.
I mean, we still can't overlook the fact that he came in with nobody out and the bases loaded, and induced a ground ball double play that really helped the Phillies.
Sandberg has walked and grounded out. He is 0 for 1. Tops it to third. A tough play. Hollins, a short hop, and Dave throws him out. Good play, Dave Hollins. And Sandberg is retired, 2 outs.
Well, even the best hitters make mistakes sometimes, and here's Ryne Sandberg getting a breaking ball and trying to pull that. It was away. He tried to pull it, hit over the top of it.
And Hollins having to get that short hop and make the play. There is Dave. And Grace, the batter. He has walked twice tonight. Mark at .329, 5th best in the league at game time. Ooh, deep right field, and this is a long home run for Mark Grace. That is Grace's 12th home run of the year, and he now has a 13-game hitting streak, and the Cubs lead it 4-2 on Grace's bomb to right center.
Well, Mike Williams, he did it all wrong that time. Up in the strike zone with nothing on it. And Grace, I mean, it's almost like he double clutched. Just got through that one. Whew.
Fans are out there trying to get the fan to throw that ball back.
Watch where this pitch is, Chris. It's just a fastball that kind of hangs up in the strike zone, meant to move but doesn't. And Grace is all over it.
That's what happens to a high sinker, huh?
Well, especially like from a guy like Williams, he doesn't really try to overpower you. So if he throws a sinker and it doesn't sink, it's like a nothing fastball.
And Alan Hill hits it on one hop to Stocker, who throws him out. That'll do it for the Cubs in the 5th. They get a run on the home run. 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Phil's bat, the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 2.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I said to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
I remember last year, honey, when we were moving.
Right.
Well, she called us and said if we put both our new house and car policies with her, we would save money.
Well, we have so many choices at Nationwide, and my job is to make you aware of your options.
She was always there with an answer.
That's the way we're trained, to be very knowledgeable and to be there when people really need you the most. And that's important.
Agents like Margaret are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
The metal cylinder is secured and turned in a counterclockwise motion, causing the internal railing to rise and disengage. It's easy to make something as simple as opening a jar complex. The challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile. We take cutting-edge technology and place it comfortably in your hands. Bell Atlantic Mobile. Advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Well, Gary, sometimes you can tell by the sound where the ball's going.
Sometimes you don't even need the sound.
Woo. He knew it.
Flipped his bat away and went into his trot. Mr. Williams knew it as well.
And Mark Grace having another fine year for the Cubs, one of the best hitters in this league. And he has put his ball club up by 2 at this point. And Kevin Stocker will bat for the Phillies, and then Tony Longmire will come out and bat for Mike Williams. There's Longmire as Roger Mason is up in the Phillies bullpen. Stocker was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded last time up, forcing in a run, his 26th run RBI of the year. There is Roger Mason loosening. And Mike Harkey gets it over for a strike, 1-1. Harkey has not walked a batter. He hasn't struck out a batter. He has only hit one. Stocker fouls it back off the screen, and then it goes towards the crowd. A ball and 2 strikes on Kevin Stocker, then Longmire to follow, and the top of the order, Lenny Dykstra will bat. 4-2 Cubs here in the 5th inning. Stocker gets jammed, little looper towards left field. Here comes Glenn Allen, Hill, and Willie Wilson, and Hill will make the play as the left fielder grabs it 1 away, and Longmire bats. Tony Longmire had a couple of at-bats on the road trip and got his first major league hit the other night. He is 1 for 2. Longmire put on the roster in time for possible playoff eligibility, as the Phillies wanted to have another left-handed bat around. Hit .304 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre this year. with 36 doubles.
Tony's a guy that's really being rewarded by the Phillies for his hard work. You know, he came over with Wes Chamberlain from the Pirates when they got Wes. I mean, but he's had to go down. He's had some injuries down there, but Dale Hunter's just been really impressed with his work ethic this year.
They said he really busted it all year. He had 36 doubles, set a club record for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, played well in the outfield, and looked like he finally got his head in order that he wants to be in the big leagues, because he has a lot of ability, especially offensive talent.
Right now, he likes to hit the ball the other way. He looks to hit the ball the other way, so he makes good contact and he hits for a pretty good average. I expect him to sometimes in the future be able to turn on that ball and hit with a little more power.
Yeah, he's a strong guy too. 2-1 on Tony. Here he fouls one away, left side, now to play. Tony Longmire had surgery, had shin splint problems, and this last year was a blowout for him, really. And the 2-2 pitch from Harkey. Grounded towards second where Sandberg has it. And he throws out Longmire. 2 outs.
And Chris, I want to wish a happy birthday to a friend of mine, Bill Lucas, works out at Unisys. I think he'll be 60. Well, maybe not 60, but he looks 60. So, Bill, happy birthday. And I'll see you around, I'm sure.
He's going to be pretty good, huh?
Yeah, you know, you got to go for it.
Two outs and nobody on base for Lenny Dykstra, who is 0 for 2. He's flied out and fouled out. Harkey's first pitch is down low, ball 1. Very unusual game, as we mentioned, for Harkey, with no walks and no strikeouts.
Boy, Dykstra was on deck in his last at bat when Williams was up with the bases loaded and nobody out. You're on deck and you see that out there, the pitcher, you expect him to strike out, and some ribbies are out there for you.
It didn't happen. He hit into a double play to Mike Williams as Dykstra hits that one right on the nose, but right at Sammy Sosa, and the Phils are out in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're going to the 6th, 4-2 Cubs.
Where to find the Mountain Man? A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the Mountain Man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the Mountain Man.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
When it comes to performance in cars both new and old,
With System 3, I can get great performance from Beacon Hill to Beverly Hills.
count on every grade of Texaco System 3.
Don't try it with any other gasoline.
I wouldn't.
Who asked you?
Inky, Izzy, The Wild Thing, Patty, Dutch, Dude, The Crucker, and friends request the pleasure of your company at Veterans Stadium in 1994. Season ticket plans range from full season to as few as 13 games. For more information, call 463-5000.
And this homestand continues with the Cubs here for 3 more games. All 9 games beginning at 7:35. The Astros come in. That'll be the next to the last weekend here during the regular season. The Astros 4-3. And don't forget Backpack Day on Sunday at 1:35. Just call 463-1000 for your tickets. Phillies go to their 3rd pitcher of the ball game. It's not going to be that guy either. That is the Philly fanatic having some fun down there on the field. Roger Mason will be coming on. Roger has not pitched since last Monday, a week ago in Chicago, when he served up the grand slam home run to Rick Wilkins and lost that ball game 10-6 in 11 innings. Overall, Mason's done a really good job for the Phillies this year. Fregosi felt he had been pitched maybe a little bit too much by both San Diego and maybe the Phillies, and he needed some time. So he has not pitched for a week. Then he will face Sammy Sosa, Steve Buechele, and Willie Wilson. Right-hander, right-hander, and switch hitter. As we come to the 6th inning, where the Cubs lead 4-2 in the first of 4. Sosa, a wild swing and a miss. Sammy TKnight has looped a single to right and knocked in a run, his 81st of the year, stole his 27th base, and he's grounded out.
Big swing at a breaking ball. I mean, that's taking the bat a long way.
Now, this guy doesn't take an easy swing. I mean, it doesn't matter what the count is. And he hacks at that one and rips it down. When he connects, he can bomb. 31 homers. No balls and 2 strikes on Sammy Sosa. Another session, installment of We's Remembered coming up after this half inning, so stay tuned as Sosa beats another foul off the end of the bat in the Phillies dugout. And we'll be back to Labor Day 1983 and a very exciting moment. But we're not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to stay tuned and watch Larry Rosen. No balls and 2 strikes now on Sosa. Got him. Sosa swings and misses, and Roger Mason strikes out the first batter he faces.
Well, Roger threw him enough breaking balls to where he was looking for one. This one is straight, and he swings under it, anticipating it going down some.
Steve Buechele's 0 for 2 tonight, grounded to third, grounded to second. And a fastball misses high.
I think Buechele has to be considered a disappointment for the Cubs. I mean, they know what he was doing for the Pirates, and I think expecting him to come over and hit a few more home runs, drive in a few more runs.
He's been in a slump too. He's still playing third well. He's an excellent defensive third baseman. Rob Duncan of a hit earlier in the ball game. Steve Buechele, the Stanford graduate. Ooh. Down and in, and he hits it to deep left field, and that's going to be a home run. Mason's been hurt with the long ball lately, and he made a mistake to Buechele, and he hit it out of the ballpark. That's the Cubs' second homer of the game, and now they have a 3-run lead at 5-2.
Well, Mason's pitch has to go down and be low in the strike zone. If he hangs it, if it doesn't go down as much as he thinks, all you have to do is swing and make good contact. That ball will jump. See, he's expecting it to go down. It stays up. It's right where the guy swings. See, Chris, you're looking at a pitch that's coming up to like a fastball, and you're swinging where you think it's going to be. Now, the pitcher's anticipating that ball going down.
And it doesn't.
No. And if it doesn't, then it's just like what you were looking for.
Oh, I don't believe he just... Well, that was a breaking ball he just threw. That was a slider. And Larry Poncino says, I don't care, as Dalton tells him just that. Hey, Larry, that was a breaking ball. That's a little overreaction. My goodness. Fregosi has a kind of a bemused look. Like, how can you give a warning when a guy throws a slider? But they did. So both benches are warned early in this one by Larry Poncino.
Well, you can bet some orders have come down from the higher ups in baseball that they don't want to see the type of scene that they saw a couple of weeks ago happen. Guys are getting cold cocked.
Now he's getting some heat from the dugout. I'll watch this as a breaking ball. No.
It wasn't up and in by any means.
Well, you don't hit people with sliders. Willie Wilson fouls it off. Willie got his double his last time up and scored a run. There's Steve Buechele, who homered in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As the Cubs have pushed across another run here, they've gone a run in the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Ooh,
that's trouble too. That's going to be out of here. Mason is getting some balls up in the strike zone, and Willie Wilson hits his first home run in the National League.
Chris, again, it becomes a nothing fastball if that ball does not sink. And a pitcher like Mason when he's on, what he has to do is keep the ball down in the strike zone. He's gotten it up to where these guys, all they have to do, like I said, is get the hit of the bat on it. It's going to jump.
Willie Wilson's telling his teammates, now I knew I could hit one. It just took till Labor Day.
See, again, it starts to go down.
It looked like a breaking ball, huh? Slider.
Yeah, look at it right up around his waist. Wilson knows it's gone, and this is the first one he's hit.
In a ballpark that was a house of horrors for him in 1980. Well, here's Lake. And he lines one to deep left field, and this is gone. 3 home runs in this inning, consecutive homers by the Chicago Cubs. And they are having some fun right now. This isn't Wrigley they're hitting them in either. They have hit all of them hard, all of them mistakes up.
Now, I tell you, if there was going to be a knockdown pitch, this would have been the time. But since he's taken that away from him. Now, this pitch here wasn't that bad. You watch where Steve Lake, he takes a pitch that is down and in. Watch where the pitch is. Down, well, in, not as down as I thought it was going to be.
No, he got the head on that one. So Lake has 2 runs batted in the game, and the Cubs with consecutive home runs, 3 consecutive homers. That one went off Whitey's retired number. May 17th, 1977, against San Diego, was the last time that they hit 3 home runs in a row as Kevin Foster, the young right-hander, gets up. Roger Mason is just being tattooed here, and they started it by striking out Sammy Sosa, and then Buechele, Wilson, and Lake of all homers. Cubs with 4 home runs in the last 2 innings. They lead it 7-2.
I mean, Buechele, who has been struggling, Lake not a power hitter, and Wilson hits his first home run in the National League.
Now Harkey hits one, and it's 1-2. He has struck out and flied out. So this one got off to a shaky start, and it's staying that way. That was a slider that was up a little bit.
Because you know, his ball's not even moving enough for me to be able to detect whether it's a slider or a sinker. It's just everything staying up in the strike zone.
Well, they were trying to give him a little time off, and that was a sinker. And Harkey beats it on the ground to Stocker, who throws him out, and the crowd lets out the little Bronx cheer as the home run binge is ended after going back to back to back. Roger Mason has had a lot of trouble with the long ball lately, and it has followed him again tonight to the mound.
Well, I think that, you know, the Phillies enjoying a nice lead in the National League East. And as the season winds down, what players want to do is like, boy, when we get on prime time, I hope I have my game together. You know, that's the whole thing. You want to go on into the playoffs, getting your hits. It can be as hot as it can be a couple of days before the season ends. You know, if you don't have it there, that can have an effect on it.
Vizcaíno, a little looper off the end of the bat. Great play by Stocker, who continues to sparkle at shortstop. Cubs 3 runs, 3 hits, all homers, no errors, and nobody left. And they lead it 7-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Time now for another installment of We's Remembered as Larry Rosen takes us back to Labor Day weekend 1983 and a dream come true for Ozzie Virgil.
September dawned for the 1983 Phillies with little to foreshadow that history was to be made over the final 4 weeks. The first hit may have come when the little leadoff man, Joe Morgan, cranked a home run to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead over the San Francisco Giants. The eventual Cy Young Award winner, John Denny, had that good curveball, striking out Philadelphian Jeff Leonard. But the next time around, Leonard got a ground ball base hit. Jack Clark would just beat the throw to the plate, and the Giants would take a lead into the 9th inning and then self-destruct. The Phillies would load the bases without the ball ever leaving the infield, a Maddox infield single, and a pair of infield errors on seemingly routine ground balls. Maybe there was an element of fate as pinch hitter Ozzie Virgil batted with 2 outs and the game on the line.
He hits it a ton. That ball is carrying. That ball is a grand slam home
With the win, the Phillies maintain their slim hold on the NL East lead.
Labor Day, huh? 1983. He killed that one.
That was a year, man. Everybody did a little bit of something.
You got that one started with that little hippity hop, huh?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not proud.
Heck no. I got the inning going. You were standing on third when he hit that one, huh? We're going to have a number of those, Larry Rosen tells us, as we go down the stretch here during the month of September. And it was a very, very exciting September for the Phillies back in 1983 when they wound up winning the division and then beating the Dodgers in the playoffs. Mariano Duncan, the batter. He takes it over for a strike. So Mike Harkey has a chance now to win his first game since August the 12th. He's had 2 losses and 2 no decisions in his last 4 starts, as he has a nice 7-2 lead here in the 6th inning. See what he does with it. Phillies are really flat tonight. The pitching blew out in the 1st inning. Still a long way to go, but this is kind of a dead game right now, and they need something to get the crowd into it and get themselves into it.
Yeah, well, one thing we know, they're not going to throw in the towel until 3 outs in the 9th.
And they almost always make a run. Buechel's going to have a tough play, and he makes it. Steve Buechel's been outstanding tonight.
That was a good play. He was able to get Duncan because Duncan took such a big swing at the ball. He was not able to get going towards first base. See, pitch a sinker in. Look at Duncan swing all the way out there, and now he has to. Buechel gets that ball. He's just a few steps out of the box. I mean, Buechel, a perfect strike, chest high, right to Grace.
And Kruk, the batter, he is 0 for 2. That is a foul ball first base side, and that gives us a chance to wish a happy 60th birthday to Dan Ingersoll, the dad of Susan Ingersoll. Family and friends at the game tonight in Superbox 453.
Isn't Dan the guy that works down in the...
That's Dan Jr.
Oh.
Yeah. This is Dan Sr. Susan is the administrator for baseball operations, working with Lee Thomas.
I know Dan Jr. quite well.
You better. No balls and 1 strike on Kruk.
Well, Susan quite well.
Yes,
as a matter
you do. Susan's been here a long time. Susan started here at the ballpark as a hostess. Kruk off the end of the bat. That ball's hooking at Sosa, and he makes the play. Hit it pretty well, but it was on its way down almost right away, 2 away. And the next 3 telecasts coming up here, 2 of them on Prism, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday night we'll be back on PHL 17.
What innings will you be doing on 17?
On Thursday?
Yeah.
I will be doing 4th through the conclusion. I have to check with Whitey on that. There's the Fanatic.
You guys like to mix it up. Would you like to get in radio as well? Is that radio as well as TV?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I like to do it all, you know. Collins with a line drive to right, and this looks like it'll break that long consecutive single streak for the Phillies. Hollins is going to stop at second base with a double. Now it bounces away, and he will head for third. There's nobody there. Probably be an error on Sosa, double and an error on Sosa. And Mike Harkey's hobbling around out on the mound right now. He had a bad knee at the beginning of the season.
Well, here's Dave Hollins. He's going to rip the ball down in the corner. It should be a double. I mean, Sosa goes in there, and we can't see down in the corner, but you can bet it's rattling around. It's stuck up in there. And here's a throw in. Watch Sandberg. He lets it go because it's a bad throw to him. There's supposed to be a backup man there backing up Sandberg.
Maybe Harkey looked like he was going over to try and back up third. Maybe he twisted his knee, Gary.
Tried to move suddenly when he saw the ball offline.
So that'll be a double. The Phillies' last extra base hit was in the 4th inning on Saturday night at Cincinnati. So they end that with a double by Hollins, the error to Sosa. And John Fierro, the Cubs trainer, out there looking at Mike Harkey, who has been plagued with numerous injuries. There's that first extra base hit for the Phils in a long time.
Chris, and I think you're right. It was just the throw was so far offline that he made a sudden move to going back up and try and pick up the throw.
He's gone. They're taking him out. Dan Plesac is going to come on. So both the starting pitchers are going to leave this ball game with injuries. As Mike Harkey heads for the Cubs dugout, and we're going to head for a break and be back right after this.
Yeah, you're right, Judd. There's no beach traffic.
Easy. I went out. There's a Coke machine.
Man, I'm so hot.
You certainly are.
Hot as in sweaty.
Hey, so crank on the AC.
Air conditioning is for the weak, like yourself.
I'm sticking to the seat like yourself.
That
Please
dog is
don't.
moving faster than we are.
All you guys ever do is complain.
Your shoes are pretty.
Could someone please fan me?
No.
Coca-Cola, anyone?
Yay!
Thank you, Alan, for serving a purpose in my life for the first time.
Well,
You're very welcome.
time together.
When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's called taking your lumps. Cash 5. All the cash all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash all at once.
And Dan Plesac will now come on, the veteran left-hander, and he'll get as much time as necessary to warm up because of the injury to Mike Harkey. There are the numbers on Plesac, who's been pretty much of a disappointment also for the Cubs this year, coming over from Milwaukee. He did earn his first Cubs victory on April 24th at Montreal. This guy at one time was a dominant strikeout pitcher in the American League, and then he had a lot of shoulder problems. They have yet to post an error on the scoreboard, but we figure it was an error on the throw from the outfield. We were told it was error 9. That's what they announced on the PA system up here.
I mean, but you think that's an error on the right fielder?
Sometimes, you know, they give it because even though an infielders got to catch this, nobody catches it.
He lets it go.
Now let's see where he is, where the shortstop is. Yep, that should be Vizcaíno's error. But it hit the cutout and went down on him a little bit too. Now let's see if we can see where Harkey hurts himself.
Oh, definitely. Watch over here in the corner.
There it is, right there.
See, he went over to back up as if the ball was going to be thrown into second base, and then broke for third base to cover. That's after he had already hurt his knee, tried to get back in to back up.
He began the season on the disabled list with a knee problem. See, after all those shoulder miseries he had.
They tell those pitchers, they have them running around there like it's a fire drill. They hit a ball, extra base hits, they go to back up second and then go to third. Wherever that runner's going, they go to back up.
Plesac's last appearance was against the Phillies. He had a no decision in a Cubs 4-1 loss at Wrigley on September 1st, pitching an inning in a third, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts as he gave up a couple runs in the 9th inning of that game. Give us a chance to remind you we'll be back on Prism again tomorrow night. Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. Sammy Sosa and company. Larry Rosen has the pregame at 7 o'clock, and then we'll have the ball game for you beginning at 7:30. And the movie after tonight's ball game is Everybody's All-American. I saw that. It's a good movie. Dennis Quaid, Jessica Lange. Good movie. And we'll follow our telecast tonight. Here on Labor Day, hope you're enjoying the game. It's been mostly Cubs so far as they've hit 4 homers. Here are the 2 third basemen in this game, Steve Buechele and Dave Hollins. Buechele has a homer tonight. Cubs hit 3 consecutive home runs off Roger Mason in the 6th inning to take a game from 4-2 to 7-2. Phillies have a little rally going here as Dave Hollins is on third base with 2 outs and Dan Plesac continues to warm up. There's Chuck Cartier on the bench, and are we going to see the 3 homers now? Okay, here we go.
There's one.
All right, here's Buechele.
Fastball up and in, meant to be a sinker, I'm sure, or a slider, but it was pretty straight. Had some spin on it. Here's Willie Wilson's. That ball is right over the heart of the plate, up in the strike zone. Then Lake. We thought this one was a little bit inside, but it was still up in the air.
3 in a row. And Plesac is ready to go. Plesac is 6'5". He's 215 pounds, 31 years of age. Born in Gary, Indiana. Darren Dalton, the batter, 2 for 2 tonight. We are in the 6th inning, so Harkey can win this ball game should the Cubs keep the lead. Plesac gets the pitch over, 1-1.
32, 6'5", left-hander.
Joe McGray won his first American League game the other night, by the way, for the California Angels. Dalton hits it high in the air to center field, but playable for Willie Wilson, who comes coasting in, makes the play. That'll do it for the Phillies here in the 6th. Gary, you got a lot of work to do this week. We'll see you tomorrow night. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. That's it through 6.
Don't you have anything to fit me?
No offense, Mr. Jones, but you are a little on the small side.
I need more choices.
Harry, give me those genuine yellow pages. Look, choices. Italian, Greek, Chinese. You want more?
Those are restaurants.
That's right. You put some meat on those bones and come back and see us.
9 out of 10 use it.
Mr. Matterhorn.
The genuine New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages from Bell Atlantic.
Are you losing weight?
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
I'm on this lake, and I'm standing up. No chair, man. Sky, a beautiful blue all around me. And I'm standing on the water. But I'm dancing, see? And that's the only way I can stay up is do this dance. And I know that as soon as I quit, forget it, that's it.
The winner of the 1992 Sundance Film Festival Audience Award, The Water Dance.
And we go to the 7th inning. The Cubs lead at 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. The Phillies 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. The Cubs with 4 home runs in the ball game. The Phillies are the team that usually hits the homers, and the Cubs are pounding the ball here tonight at Veterans Stadium. There's Ben Rivera, who will pitch here tomorrow night. He will be opposed by Jose Guzman. Talking about home runs, Jose Guzman throws a few of them. Right now, Guzman has thrown 25 home run balls on the year. Ben Rivera swats some sunflower seeds. Here's Sandberg, 0 for 2 with a walk as Jay Johnstone rejoins us.
Boy, had some fun while I was gone, huh? Back to back to back.
Cubbies had some, yeah.
You don't see that very often.
No, and you're at the bottom of the order too. Mason's pitch to Sandberg is fouled off.
That's a pretty good profile that Larry Rosen did on Sandberg. You look back over all the Gold Gloves this guy has gotten, all the All-Star appearances this guy has gotten. And you said, what is he, 26 homers behind Joe Morgan to be the all-time home run leader at second base.
And Mason strikes him out as Sandberg chases a high pitch. Strikeout number 2 for Roger. 1 out in the 7th inning.
I would be surprised to see Sandberg maybe close in on this home run record of Morgan's next year, as we see the pitch up in the strike zone and Sandberg actually going after a pitch out of the strike zone, kind of unlike him.
Sandberg has a 17-game hitting streak and has yet to hit tonight. Mark Grace extended his to 13 with a home run. There's a fly ball to left, hit pretty well, but Thompson has room at the track. 2 down. Grace is 1 for 2 now with 2 walks and the homer, and that will bring out Glenn Allen Hill in the cleanup spot, 0 for 3.
Cubs a little disenchanted with Candy Maldonado. They didn't like his outfield play, and sometimes I guess they had some problems with him in the clubhouse. He was not performing up to their standards, so they tried to move him, and they did to Cleveland for this gentleman right here. So maybe Glenn Allen Hill, who had a lot of high hopes of being with Toronto. Toronto traded him off to Cleveland, and now he's with the Cubs in a great hitting ballpark. Maybe he can mature as a hitter that most people think he can be.
Good slider for Mason, gets that one over, and he's 0-2 on Glenn Allen Hill after a rocky 6th inning. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside, 1-2. Ben Rivera working on a new sport for possible inclusion in the new in the Olympics. Sunflower
seed hitting. It's a good hand-eye coordination sport. You know, it helps you go on and play ping pong and things like that.
Fastball, jammed him, pop foul first base side. Kruk looks like he has room, and he does. 3 up and 3 down in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 7th inning stretch time coming up. The Phillies need some runs.
When good just isn't good enough.
Well, looks like you got a new pride and joy.
Well, it's not exactly new, but it's new to me.
And I see you're putting in super premium.
You bet. I saved every dollar I made for 2 years to buy this, so I'm giving it nothing but the best.
Nice car.
See what I mean?
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new superpower, Sit-Go.
Upon completing the rear axle assembly diagram set using a 9-inch gripping wrench, tighten the C diagram set and secure the frame extenders to the housing mount. Congratulations, you built a tricycle. While the simplest things can be made complex, the challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile, with straight answers, clear explanations, and with no assembly required. Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
So far this year, there have been 242 stories about a certain singer's book, 12 press conferences on the president's haircut, and 3 TV movies about the Long Island Lolita. But the media has yet to expose perhaps the most exciting event to date, the summer clearance at your Tri-State Honda dealer. Where right now, we've got great values on every Accord, including our 10th anniversary edition, that comes fully loaded at a price that'll have the whole world talking. We admit it's no dinosaur blockbuster, but at least our savings are huge. The summer clearance at your Tri-State Honda dealer, the smart way to go.
Hi, I'm Dick Vermeil with a Blue Cross Blue Shield health tip. A tip on one of the best ways to measure your physical fitness, and that is by checking your pulse rate. A fit person's heart rate is generally in the range of 50 to 65 beats per minute, while an average person's is 72.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Eisenreich, Thompson, and Stocker will hit in this inning against Plesac. Plesac 31 and getting a chance to pitch a little bit in a Cubs uniform after all those years in Milwaukee.
And the Phillies with a lot of left-handed hitters in the lineup, so Jim Lefebvre brings the left-hander Plesac in. Facing Eisenreich, 1 for 2 tonight with a run scored. Foul ball left side. Terry Mulholland having to leave the game for the Phillies in the 1st inning with a left hip problem, and Mike Harkey leaving in the 6th inning with what looked like a knee.
Now, I did get a chance to talk to Terry in the middle innings, and he said he heard it in the bullpen, Chris. And the reason he went out there is he figured that he had done it before, he could pitch through it, and he just wasn't able to get the location of the ball where he wanted. You know, and when you talk about a guy like Mulholland, he's a gutsy kind of guy, but he's your horse. He's your main guy. He's your #1 pitcher. And most of the time, he's able to work out of a little problem such as that. But tonight, he just couldn't quite get it. Jim Fregoso went out, and they pulled him.
Here's the 1-2 to Eisenreich. And he is out on strikes. A good breaking ball from Plesac. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Remember him having that happen to him one other time and being able to get through it.
Plesac has always had a good breaking ball. In Milwaukee, he was great in relief, was probably their #1 save guy before he developed some arm problems. Had a career of, had some years where he had over 20-some saves each in about a 4-year span, but developed some arm problems as Thompson grounds this one to short.
Vizcaíno throws him out, 2 outs.
In '91, he went from the bullpen into the starting rotation to try and help out a beleaguered staff there, and he hasn't really ever got back into that mode where he was able to throw as well and pinpoint that control, which gained him a lot of those saves.
You talk to some of the people that used to face him when he was with Milwaukee at one time, and they're in awe of what Dan Plesac used to be.
Well, you know, another thing here, you look at the Chicago Cubs, Chris, and they've got a lot of left-handers on this team. He probably doesn't get the amount of work he should because of all those left-handers.
Well, they had Assenmacher for most of the year, who they moved recently to New York.
So you've got 4 left-handers that were coming out of the pen. Hey, you know, you just start looking at those numbers and you know you're not going to get in as many situations and get your control down if you had only maybe 2, let's say.
Wes Chamberlain has moved out in the on-deck circle to bat for Mason. If Stocker keeps it alive, Kevin hit by a pitch his first time up with the bases loaded, forcing in a run. And he is fly to left. And here he has a base hit. Well, Stocker continues to pick up his hits. That's his 59th hit on the year.
What do you think Larry Poncino was trying to figure out when Mason hit him with a breaking ball, hit Wilson with a breaking ball?
We think he overreacted.
Well, this kid, you got to overreact to Stocker because the Phillies read him as a pretty good shortstop and a light-hitting guy. He has done nothing but make all the plays as short, and he's hitting over 300. So this guy really has surprised a great many people and scouts the way he swung the bat over the last couple of months.
And Wes Chamberlain, the batter. Wes gets a base hit to right field, a pinch hit. Stocker will go to third. And the Phillies in business now. Watch out from Sammy Sosa. He'll throw behind you. Chamberlain took that big turn at first and gets back. So they have 2 on and 2 outs for Dykstra.
Chamberlain up swinging at the first pitch. You see the pitch by Plesac. It looked like a slider. He didn't get it in enough. But the thing that was good to watch was Stocker had no doubt about this. He saw where the ball was going. He saw where Sosa was playing in right field. He just continued all the way over to third. Didn't even have to look to Larry Bowa for help.
That is Wes's 3rd pinch hit of the year. Here's Dykstra 0 for 3. Hit it hard his last time up.
Somebody's trying to entice me with a giant piece of cheesecake here, Chris. I don't know about this.
That looks good, too.
I see a lot of people staring at it. I don't know.
Better hurry. So Dykstra trying to get something in for the Phillies here. They need runs. They trail it by 5 at 7-2 here in the 7th inning. As Plesac works from the stretch to Lenny and misses with a breaking ball. On deck is Mariano Duncan, and bullpen activity for the Cubs. That's Jose Bautista, the right-hander, loosening. He's up for Mariano Duncan, who's in the on-deck circle. Dykstra takes it high, 2-0. Lenny trying to get on here. He'd take a walk in this situation to get Duncan up. Dykstra with 113 on the year. The Phillies, who walk so much, have not walked in this ballgame. High chopper off the glove of Mark Grace. Stocker will score. Chamberlain is scooting to third, and he is safe. Mark Grace saved extra bases on that play, but the Phillies get a run out of it. And now it's a 7-3 ball game, and runners at the corners.
Because Grace was in and Chamberlain, he was holding him on at first. This high chopper, which normally would be out as a base hit. But you see Grace got his tip of the glove on the ball, and Sandberg made a great play on that. I'm surprised Buechele didn't stay on the bag. Maybe he didn't think Sandberg was going to throw, because they had a chance of tagging Chamberlain out. Sandberg doing a marvelous job of backing up. Now watch this. The ball just goes off his glove. Sandberg with great speed quickly gets the ball. Doesn't even think about it. Whirls and fires it to third. And Buechele came off the bag. Otherwise, they might have had Chamberlain.
And Jim Lefebvre does not come out of the dugout as of yet. Looked like they were stalling. Now Lake is still stalling. Now here he comes. Yeah, you figured he had to have Bautista up for Duncan. And here comes the Cubs manager slowly to the mound. as of yet, he has not made a change. Dwight Smith is also coming into the game. Looks like they're going to make a double change. Chuck McElroy up as Kruk is due to bat after Duncan. Bautista must need a few more pitches because they went into a long stall, and they're still stalling as Larry Poncino goes to the mound to try and see what Lefebvre's going to do. I mentioned the double change as Hill's going to leave, and now the umpire makes the move to the bullpen. So a double change now. Dwight Smith will come in and play left field, and on to pitch the right-hander Jose Bautista. And Plesac will wind up pitching 1 inning as Bautista, the right-hander, comes on, and we'll be back right after this.
Don't you have anything to fit me?
No offense, Mr. Jones, but you are a little on the small side.
I need more choices.
Harry, give me those genuine yellow pages. Look, choices. Italian, Greek, Chinese. You want more?
Those are restaurants.
That's right. You put some meat on those bones and come back and see us.
9 out of 10 use it.
Mr. Matterhorn.
The genuine Bella, Pennsylvania yellow pages from Bell Atlantic.
Are you losing weight?
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Jose Bautista, the pitcher, is doing a good job for the Cubs. Fine earned run average of 2.26. Won the game yesterday as Glenn Allen Hill hit that home run in the 9th inning. 6-1 with 2 saves, a 2.10 in 50 relief appearances, and a 1.19 earned run average in his last 17 appearances for the Cubs. And over 44 outings, he has an earned run average of 1.51. What they do, change their mind? Dwight Smith's out there stretching. He thinks he's in the game. And now Dwight Smith's going to leave.
Aha! It's a trick. Well, Bautista's only 29 years old. Fastballs, slider, and split finger pitch.
And there goes Dwight Smith back to the dugout to be used at a later time. So they were going to make a double switch there, obviously, and decided not to. So Bautista now will face, and Jim Fregosi wants to know what's going on here, whether or not he was in the game or not, and whether they're going to use up that player. Here comes Bob Davidson in from second base, and they have a good point here. I mean, was he in the game or not?
I thought he was announced, wasn't he?
Well, that's the point. Sure. Now, is he eligible or not? You wouldn't think so.
Not if he's announced. He has to stay in the game.
And how can Hill go back in when he was out? It's like they just used up 2 players. Well, we'll find out what happens.
And that's exactly what Jim Fregosi's trying to find out right now.
And there's Dwight Smith, who was in the game and out of the game.
Jose Bautista. Second.
Well, there's Glenn Allen Hill back in left field. Take a look at the National League West pennant race. Atlanta out in Los Angeles tonight, leading the Dodgers 1-0. The Giants won at home today over the Pirates 4-1. Scott Sanderson gave them 6 good innings. They still have a 3-game lead in that loss column, and that's what you look at this time of the year. 3 overall, pending the outcome of tonight's game. Fouled away by Duncan down the right side and out of play.
Bautista with 2 real good pitches. His fastball, which moves a lot, especially into Duncan. And he's got kind of a sweeping slider. And then he'll try and use his split finger pitch as a changeup.
Mariano has faced him twice this year. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. Bautista has been around for a while. He's now 29 years of age, born in Bani in the Dominican Republic. has pitched for the Orioles and Mets organizations. Also at Omaha, that's Kansas City's. Here's the pitch to Duncan. Line drive and a base hit left field. Chamberlain scores. Stopping at second is Dykstra. And now it's a 7-4 ball game. Kruk due to bat next. And we might be seeing McElroy.
Well, you've seen it all year long. This Phillies club is an awesome hitting machine. Even though they were down by 5 runs, they're never really out of this game. They just keep hitting and hitting. John Kruk comes to the plate, and Bautista looks like he'll have to face him.
Yep, McElroy is up in the bullpen, but they're going to stay with Bautista to face John Kruk. And Kruk off Bautista this year is 0 for 1. 2 on, 2 outs, and a couple of runs in. And the pitch to John. Fouled it away. Had a good hack at it. Phillies have out-hit the Cubs 10-8, but they trail it by 3 runs because the Cubs have hit 4 homers. There's Lenny on at second. Duncan at first. A 7-4 ball game in favor of Chicago. Here's the pitch to Kruk. Swing and a miss. That looked like it might have been a fork ball or a breaking pitch.
He'll use that a lot off his fastball. It's almost like a changeup. He's got good downer action. The only problem with his split finger pitch, he's been a little inconsistent with it when he pitches. Hasn't been able to get it over the plate much. 2 best pitches are the moving fastball or sinking fastball and sweeping slider.
Attic trying to keep it going. No balls, 2 strikes to Kruk. The pitch to John. Low and inside. Good block by, saved by Lake. 1 and 2. Dave Holland's on deck. Kruk with runners in scoring position. And John is 0 for 3 tonight. Mark Grace is playing him over towards the line, really playing him to pull. It's a pretty decent hole on that right side. Sandberg very deep in second. In the outfield, they're playing him as an opposite field hitter with Wilson shading him towards left center. He has a big gap in right center field. Bautista finally ready to go. And the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball deep center field. Willie Wilson going away back. This ball is off the wall and in play. 2 runs are going to score as Kruk has a double, and it's a 7-6 ball game now in favor of the Cubs, and the Phils are almost all the way back.
The Phillies came into the game tonight hitting as a team .275. Their on-base percentage .354, which is the best in National League. And John Kruk on a fastball down fancies himself as a pretty good 2-strike hitter because he's got the ability to wait, and then attack and hit the ball where it's pitched. Well, this pitch was down and going away from him. He went right down and got it and hit it over a pretty good center fielder's head.
73 runs batted in for the Krucker on his 29th double, and here's Hollins 1 for 3 with a double. All this coming with 2 outs here in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Hard ground ball, but right at Mark Grace, and he will step on the bag, and the Phillies are out here in the 7th, but they just made a ball game out of it. They pick up 4 runs with 5 hits, no errors, and they leave 1. We go to the 8th, 7-6 Chicago.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Before you take another full-size pickup out for a spin, remember, not one of them offers 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. That's about to change. It would appear truck designers have never enjoyed spending much time on the seats. And it seems neither have truck owners. That's about to change.
It's a free back-to-school backpack, compliments of Campbell's Soup, when the Phillies play the Houston Astros Sunday, September 12th at 1:35. Backpack, baseball, and the Broad Street Bombers. All right. Call 463-1000 now.
Well, here's your scoring summary, and you can see it has been a wild one here tonight. The Cubs jumped out 2-0. Phils tied them, and then the Cubs built up a 7-2 lead. Phillies have just scored 4 runs with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Terry Mulholland had to leave in the first inning with that flexor injury to his left hip, and then the Cubs went back to back in the 6th inning to help build up that 7-2 lead. And all of a sudden we have ourselves a ball game. And now it's up to the bullpen to try and keep it where it is as Bobby Thigpen comes into game number 9. He's really pitched well for the Phillies, except for that one disastrous outing against Cincinnati when he gave up 5 earned runs. His ERA at 6. On the road trip, he pitched at Chicago 2 scoreless innings and 1 inning at Cincinnati where he gave up 1 hit and no runs. There is the Cubs lineup card. Now tell me that doesn't say Smith in the 9 hole. And Bautista in the 4 hole. Got me, folks. And they got Smith scratched out on their lineup card. However, he's on the bench and probably ineligible for the rest of this game. Sammy Sosa, the batter. Well, how could he be ineligible? I mean, if
they haven't, unless the umpire said he's ineligible and Jimmy just left, because Jimmy didn't put up much of an argument after that. So.
Because if Hill were technically out of the game, they certainly couldn't have put him back. Well, we'll never know. Well, we'll know after the game when we ask. Sosa facing Thigpen. Sammy tonight is 1 for 3 with an RBI hit in the first inning, a bloop hit. And Thigpen with a good fastball over for a strike. 0-2. Crowd is really into the game now. And as we suspected, Mike Harkey had to leave the game with a right knee problem. They're calling it a mild strain of the patella tendon at his right knee. So Mike Harkey, who has been plagued with injuries, has to leave this one. And he was pitching really well and had a big lead. He is still the pitcher of record for the Cubs. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sammy Sosa.
I knew a patella once. Used to make a great pasta.
We're going to talk about that paella. Collins fires the first, and Sammy Sosa's retired. 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th inning. And Steve Buechele will bat. He got the home run barrage started in the 6th inning when he homered to left field.
This just goes to show you what a good running fastball can do to a hitter that's been swinging a hot bat. That ball moved in and up on Sosa. Sosa got it about 3 inches above the hand and just below the label. Get much wood on it. Get a pitch in that location, you're going to see a lot of broken bats or easy groundouts.
Thigpen's pitch to Buechele is over for a strike. Steve 1 for 3 with that home run in the 6th, his 13th of the year.
You know, partner, pitching is like real estate. Location, location, location.
That's a good point. Been involved in a little real estate action myself lately. No balls and 2 strikes. It is inside. 1-2. Crowd groans. Chuck McElroy, I believe, is still up in the bullpen. Looks like Chuck's standing out there. They did not bring him in to pitch to Kruk. There he is. Fastball, and it is right down the middle for strike 3 call. Thigpen picks up his first strikeout. 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Well, we talked about location. That's what pitching's all about. Look at that pitch. He starts it outside. The ball has movement back over the corner. And Buechele knew it right away.
Willie Wilson hit his first National League home run his last time up. A drive into the seats in right field. Took him 202 at bats to get that first one. 30,765 tickets sold here for this one, so that breaks the Phillies' long streak of 40-plus crowds, but that's to certainly be expected as we move into the month of September. Still a great crowd for a holiday night in September, as the Phillies continue to draw just great. 2-1 on Wilson. Jammed him, broke his back. At Kruk, he'll take it himself. Good job by Bobby Thigpen in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. We're coming back to the 8th, and the Phils trail it 5-1.
Hazy sunshine this afternoon. High close to yesterday's 96 downtown.
Now the Pennsylvania Lottery has 2 drawings every week for the Cash 5 lump sum jackpot. So every week,
I want to go this way.
2 people can hit Cash 5. All the cash, all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash, all at once.
In a time when the leaders of the church were as powerful as gods.
You are presuming to defy the judgment of the Holy Father.
He seduced a queen and commanded a crew of murderers and thieves.
How does a partner convict get the rest of his money?
On the most dangerous journey ever undertaken. Christopher Columbus, The Discovery.
And the new pitcher for the Cubs, former Phil left-hander Chuck McElroy. There are the numbers on Chuck, not having a good season. In fact, he was optioned at one point to Iowa of the American Association. Recalled on July the 31st. In 9 AAA games, he was 0-1 with 2 saves and an earned run average of 4.60. He was optioned to Iowa on July the 5th. His ERA was 4.75 before he was sent out. So Chuck McElroy back with the Cubs. Phillies saw him briefly last week in Chicago. And Randy Myers, their closer, starts to loosen, although they do use him sometimes in the 8th inning. They'll use him for more than 2. The Phillies will lead it off with Darren Dalton, then Jim Eisenreich and Milt Thompson. 3 straight left-handed batters due to bat as they trail it by 1, and Dalton takes it low, ball 1. McElroy with a good fastball over for a strike. Chuck pitched 2 innings last week in Chicago, gave up 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Phillies did not score off their former teammate. Dalton checks on a breaking ball away, 2-1. Chuck throws fastball, breaking ball, and a pretty good forkball as Mitch Williams starts to get ready in case the Phillies can go ahead in this inning. They trail by 1. We're in the 8th. Pitch to Dutch. Base hit right field. So the Phillies are off and winging here in the 8th inning as Dalton leads it off with a hit. Eisenreich coming out to hit, and in the on-deck circle is Pete Cavilla.
One of the problems McElroy has had is watch the location of this left-hander. Usually with a big sweeping breaking ball, you should have it more on the outside part of the plate. McElroy's been catching too much to the plate. A lot of guys are getting base hits off him.
Eisenreich probably will be up there to bunt to try and tie or get the runner into scoring position as Inky moves into the on-deck circle. We'll see. And McElroy wants to see what Eisenreich's going to do. Moves over to first. Myers continuing to throw in the bullpen. No right-hander up. And here comes Billy Connors to the mound. Pitching coach wants to have a word with the young left-hander. There's Billy, former Phil's minor league pitching coach. He's been in baseball a long time. One of the really good guys in this business.
Sure is. And while we're at it, how about a happy birthday to Pierre and Eddie Weaver from the island of Aruba. They're in town tonight celebrating their birthdays with us at the ballpark. So we wish them a happy birthday. Also, Denise Harmon from Levittown. She's 23, and a great happy anniversary to Louise and Margaret Morrison of Woodbury, New Jersey. Their 60th wedding anniversary tonight, and they've been Phillies fans for a long time.
lot of those things around here tonight. And that's who's on deck right now, Pete Incaviglia. Those Vandemonium.
Well, yeah, I think the Enquirer is putting something on tonight. They have a bunch of people in left field with Incaviglia masks. So as soon as Imke got to the plate, they all put on their Pete Incaviglia masks as Eisenreich lays down a great bunt.
And McElroy is such a good fielder. He almost had a play at second. Dalton got a good break. And once again, Jim Eisenreich gets the job done, moving the runner into scoring position. And here comes Incaviglia. And the crowd reacts, as you can imagine.
This bunt by Eisenreich, he got the ball down. McElroy looked at second. But as Chris said, Dalton with a great break. McElroy would have had to turn around and throw and maybe off balance. So he went for the sure out as we see all the people waving the Pete Incaviglia mask. Pete being honored tonight.
I think he's 0 for 5 lifetime off McElroy. There you see his pinch hitting numbers. Here comes Jim Lefebvre. They just got a right-hander up. Now, there was no right-hander up the last time we looked out there. It looks like Castillo's starting to throw. So Castillo, the right-hander, is now up. He's the guy the Phillies blew out in that game at Wrigley Field last week. Lefebvre going to the mound. Has all the makings of another double switch, but we shall see.
I mean, if they put him out and leave him there this time, or they bring him back?
Who knows what they're going to do? Well, here goes Dwight Smith again. He's coming back. This time he's going to right field.
Ah.
He's going to try it again. And into the game comes Randy Myers, a left-hander.
Sosa's now moving over to center. Wilson coming out, so looks like he's in the game for good this time.
Well, Randy Myers will be coming on. Willie Wilson will move to center field, and Dwight Smith will move to right field. And Pete Incaviglia.
Well, he's having a great year. He's in the booth, he's on the field, he's in the dugout, he's everywhere. It's Pete Incaviglia night. And what a year he's had for the Phillies this year.
There's the real Inky.
Otherwise, affectionately known for his teammates as Body by Jake.
Well, Chuck McElroy will leave. Smith will bat now in the 9-hole and play right field. Willie Wilson moves to center. Sammy Sosa moves to center. Willie Wilson is gone. And Randy Myers, the new pitcher. The save leaders. Myers has had a great year for the Cubs. He struggled a little bit late, and he coughed up a few, but boy, early in the season, he was almost automatic. That's a career high for him, 39. Previous high, 38, set last year with San Diego. Myers' last outing was on September the 4th. That was on Saturday against the Mets, and he picked up a save in the Cubs' 9-8 win. There is David West out in the bullpen. If the Phillies can tie this, he would be the new pitcher. And we saw Mitch Williams earlier. So lots happening right now. It's a 7-6 game. Phillies have Darren Dalton at second base. Pete Incaviglia about ready to bat off Randy Myers.
You can bet he's going to see some hard stuff because Myers is kind of a power pitcher. He'll go right at you. And he likes to pretty much get ahead with his fastball, so it's power against power in this at-bat. The power of Randy Myers' fastball against the power of Pete Incaviglia's muscles.
And here comes big Pete Incaviglia. Showed you his numbers as a pinch hitter. That's what he's doing overall this year. 1 for 4 off Randy Myers. Will work from the stretch, of course, with the runner at second base. He works from the stretch anyway. And the pitch on the way to Incaviglia. Outside, ball 1. Happy birthday to Skip Trucks. Cherry Hill. On deck is Kevin Stocker, and then the pitcher's hole will be coming up next. After that, the stretch and the pitch. Incaviglia ground ball off the end of the bat to the shortstop, and Vizcaíno throws him out for the second out. Dalton moves to third. And that will bring up Kevin Stocker 1 for 2 tonight. facing Randy Myers for the first time in his career. Phillies did not see Randy Myers at all in that series at Chicago, as Ricky Jordan will be the pinch hitter for Thigpen. 7-6, Cubs lead it. We're in the 8th.
Seems like all of this 30,000-plus crowd has not left yet. Glued to their seats. The 4-run 7th inning by the Phillies have kind of got them a little bit excited.
Outside and low, ball 1. Randy Myers stayed away from Incaviglia, which was certainly a good idea. Got him to ground out to short. Stocker has a pretty big hole on the left side. They're playing him up the middle with a shortstop, and then they're going to pitch him away, and he's not going to pull. As you see that hole on the left side. And the pitch to Kevin. Fly ball down the right field line. Smith over, it's out of play. A new outfield has Glenn Allen Hill in left field, Sammy Sosa in center, and Dwight Smith now playing right.
Even though there are 2 outs, Steve Buechele has to play almost even with the bag just to take away the chance that Stocker might lay down a bunt.
Stocker has shown that he is a very good bunter.
Yes, he has.
There is Buechele. Aaron Dalton 90 feet away from tying this one. Outside, 2-1. Swing and a foul out of play. Myers is throwing hard as usual. Stocker picked up his 26th run batted in on the year, and he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded back in the 2nd inning. There's your situation, and the runner on third is Dalton. Phillies trail 7-6. Stocker, a full count. Stays alive.
Made a pretty good pitch here. Had that running fastball just on the outside part of the plate.
And should Kevin Stocker keep it going, Ricky Jordan set the bat for Thigpen. Three balls, 2 strikes. Stocker has a good at bat here. He fouls another one off out of play. Look at the scoreboard and what's going on here late in the game at the vet. We are in the 8th. Phillies have out hit the Cubs by quite a bit, but the difference has been 4 homers by Chicago tonight. Phillies do not have a long ball. Popped it up. It's playable right side. Grace and Sandberg there. Grace, the first baseman. He grabs it, and the Cubs get the Phillies out here in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1. We go to the 9th, still 7-6.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
Of course. That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
Visit your Texaco station.
I can get the tires rotated, the car lubed, and still get home in time for the game.
Mow the lawn.
for unbeatable System 3 gasolines and so much more.
Mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your home.
What would you do if you found
You don't find that kind of money just lying on the street.
$1 million?
Just did.
Would you give it back?
What are you, nuts?
Or would you keep it?
It's my money. Police! Open the door!
This is the true story of a man who found a little money.
Did we steal it from anybody? No.
And went a little crazy.
Are we giving it back? Hell no!
John Cusack, Money for Nothing, rated R. Starts Friday, September 10th at a theater near you.
Let's take a look at the National League scoreboard as Houston beat the New York Mets today 7-2 at the Dome. Luis Gonzalez drove in 5 runs. He had a homer his 14th. Montreal in the 8th inning beating Colorado at home by a score of 4-3. Andres Galarraga hit his 19th. Pittsburgh losing to San Francisco. Big game for the Giants. Atlanta leads 1-0 behind John Smoltz. Florida at San Diego. In the American League, an abbreviated schedule today. Milwaukee beating Kansas City. Boston over the Chicago White Sox. Baltimore, a red-hot team, leading Seattle at home. And Texas 7-0 over the Yankees. The Yankees have a chance tonight to take over sole possession of the American League East with a win, but they'll be hard-pressed to do it looks like. Incaviglia remains in the game in left field, and Steve Lake leads it off and pops a foul first base side out of play. For the Cubs here in the 9th inning, Lake, Dwight Smith batting in the 9-hole, and then Jose Vizcaíno due to bat. Bobby Thigpen working his 2nd inning for the Phillies, who need to keep this to a 1-run game.
Talking about Baltimore, they have really come on, winning their last 7 games, huh?
7 with a chance for 8 tonight as Lake fouls one off. Steve's had a big game for the Cubs. He has driven in 2 runs tonight, his single and a home run. He hit one of the 3 home runs for the Cubs. Their consecutive homers in the 6th. Fouled away into the upper deck.
Yeah, I was kidding with Steve in the locker room tonight. We go way back to when we were teammates on the Cubs. And he says, can you imagine a Scribini like me having almost 11 years in the big leagues? I said, well, hey, you do the job, they're going to keep you around for another 11 like you've been doing it.
Oh, yeah, he could just hang out and be a backup catcher.
Knows his role and does pretty good.
No balls and 2 strikes on Steve Lake leading off the 9th inning.
One thing about him, he seems to get better with age with his arms. Almost at 50% and throwing out base runners.
Swinging a foul tip held on to by Dalton. Strikeout number 2 for Bobby Thigpen. 1 out in the 9th inning.
Thigpen with good movement on the fastball going up and in on Lake. Lake primarily likes the ball out and over the plate about belt high and sometimes even lower.
And that'll bring up Dwight Smith getting his first at bat. We thought he was in the game one time. He wasn't. Now he is. Coming in on a double switch. And the pitch is high from Thigpen. Smith has a career high 11 home runs this year. And a leadoff home run against the Phillies in a game. Ground ball in the hole and a base hit to right field for Dwight Smith. Kruk couldn't get to it. So Smith is a 1-out base runner in the 9th. Hit number 1 off Thigpen. Number 9 for the Cubs.
I think he tried to get a little bit more inside with that one. Got it too much out over the plate. He's got to love as a hitter to hit on AstroTurf. You know that? I'm seeing ground balls go through for hits. And you know on grass that either the second baseman will gobble him up or a first baseman that can dive like Kruk and plays a good first base, got a chance to catch him, and the pitcher covers, the guy's out. It's just an AstroTurf base hit right there.
Jose Vizcaíno swung at the first pitch all 4 times tonight. 1 for 4. He takes it over for a strike. A breaking ball in the outside corner. Jose, a switch hitter, coming into the game 253 right-handed, 289 from the left side. Dwight Smith, the runner at first base. There he is. Smith has stolen 8 bases in 13 attempts. You're thinking about him maybe running. There he goes. They pitched out. It was a hit and run. That was really weird. He broke. Dalton jumped out, and Vizcaíno swung at the pitch.
That pitch was awful close.
Watch this.
Look at this.
It's a pitch out, but it's too much of the plate.
It is. I mean, Dalton's got to reach back for that. That's a good way to get killed on that one.
Yeah, because you get your body turned.
Sure. Wow. You got to get it more outside.
Well, now it's 1-2 now on Vizcaíno.
Phillies in double play depth. They've turned 101 on the year.
Ryan Sandberg waits on deck. There's Vizcaíno, who's done a really good job since coming over to the Cubs. Used to be in the Dodgers organization. Smith goes again, and it's a ball. Dalton's throw, he's got it. Aaron Dalton guns down Dwight Smith at second base. It's a 3-2 count now on Vizcaíno, but that base runner's gone.
Dalton, coming into tonight's game, had thrown out 37 of 100 base runners at 37% clip. Well, there's number 38 right there. Dalton's throw right on the money. Watch this throw. Picture perfect. All Stalker has to do is drop the glove. Look at that. Right in front of the bag, right there, knee high.
We should be going to the bottom of the ninth. Duncan throws him out. No runs. 1 hit. No errors. Nobody left. Stay with us. 7-6.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
When Bob borrowed a lawnmower, all he got was short grass. When Bob borrowed hedge clippers, all he got was nice shrubs. When Bob borrowed a ladder, all he got was red shutters. When Bob borrowed a hose, all he got was wet. But when Bob borrowed money, he got indispensable banking services. The Mellon PSFS Smart Accounts. The package accounts for people who borrow as well as save.
Yeah, how far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the Smart Money is on budget. Plan a great getaway by giving Budget a call. You'll get great rates on great cars. The Smart Money is on budget.
It's a free back-to-school backpack. Compliments of Campbell Soup when the Phillies play the Houston Astros Sunday, September 12th at 1:35. Backpack, baseball, and the Broad Street Bombers. All right. Call 463-1000 now.
And here we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Ricky Jordan leads it off for the Phillies, batting for Bobby Thigpen, who gave the Phillies 2 very strong innings. Jordan, 11 pinch hits in his last 25 pinch hit at bats. There you see him overall. And Ricky batting .283 on the year with 4 homers and 13 runs batted. He had a walk the other night to start that crazy inning off against Rob Dibble in Cincinnati when Dibble blew sky high, and the Phillies almost won that game. Lenny Dykstra next, and then Mariano Duncan to face Randy Myers. Randy Myers whistles a fastball outside. There is activity in the Cubs bullpen, just in case they have Bob Scanlon up. Boy, early in the year they wouldn't have had anybody up for Myers. He had 13 consecutive save opportunities at one point. Ricky takes it over for a strike, a late call by Poncino.
In this situation, as a pinch hitter, you're looking to get on any way you can. If the guy's a little wild, you want to make him throw a strike, so you're going to take one. Otherwise, you're up there looking for that fastball, and you're hacking.
Fouled away, out of play down the right field line. Here's Randy Myers. That's quite a record for him. Those 4 clubs, the Mets, the Reds, the Padres, and the Cubs. Jordan, a shot to left, but it's right at Glenn Allen Hill. Ricky hit it on the nose and straight at the left fielder, one away. And here comes Dykstra.
Nice swing by Jordan. That's all you can do as a batter. When you see the ball, you hit it, and you try and hit it hard somewhere. You can't really guide it. Jordan got the meat part of the bat right on it, but it was right at Glenn Allen Hill.
And here's Lenny Dykstra facing his former teammate Randy Myers. These guys played together on the New York Mets. Lenny tonight 1 for 3. A single off the glove of Mark Grace. He knocked in his 49th run of the year. I think he'll make Myers throw a strike now before he'll even think about swinging.
You know, he's got such great confidence in himself as a 2-strike hitter. He knows that if it's not even close, he can work the pitcher deep in the count, and always he seems to get a pitch when he's deep in the count that he can handle.
Ooh, I guess he's thinking maybe he's going to challenge him and he might hit it out and tie it. He hit a good hack at Myers there, and it's 1-1. They have Steve Buechele, the third baseman, guarding the line at third, and Mark Grace over near the line at first base, preventing against an extra base hit. The outfielders are all very deep. Here you see them. Pitchers of record in this game are Mike Williams and Mike Harkey.
A couple of Mikes, huh?
Dykstra takes it low, 2-1. 7-6. Cubs lead it in the 9th inning. 1 out and nobody on base for the Phillies. Duncan on deck.
This is what Chris has talked about, and we've seen all year long, is the fact that Lenny has such a great batting eye. He can work a pitcher deep in the count, and then he can look for a pitch up until 2 strikes that he likes. If he doesn't get it, he can take it.
Let's see how he approaches him here. 3-1.
He's just got to challenge him.
He took it low, ball 4, and just what you expected. Lenny was going to work him hard, and he walks. That's number 114, and here comes Duncan with Kruk on deck. Duncan 3 for 4 off Randy Myers with a run batted in. Duncan tonight is 2 for 4, has extended his hitting streak, and Mariano has scored a run. And Myers moves over to first. He's also knocked in one, has Duncan. Dykstra stolen 35 bases on the year.
And what a hole Duncan has to hit to right field. Grace holding on, Dykstra, and Sandberg playing double play depth.
Duncan tried to end it there, but Myers threw a whistling fastball away from him. Here's that hole Jay was just talking about.
You could hit a ball off the end of your bat, it could squib through that hole.
Duncan a lot of times will look to hit the ball to right field off a left-hander too. It looked like he took a home run swing on that first pitch. There it is. Yep. There it was. He was looking to hit it the other way, and he fouled it off.
You know, he's got such a great stroke to hit to right field because Mariano has a big swing. He doesn't have a short swing. It's a very big swing, and he wasted the last possible second
And a lot of times you'll see him hit balls that way just accidentally.
And he tried to do it then. Myers coming with the fastballs. He throws hard. 0-2 to Duncan. Fly ball, foul again, right side now to play. Steve Lake out to see Randy Myers, and Mariano Duncan back in the batter's box. Myers from the stretch. Duncan hits it down the right field line. Dwight Smith near the line at the wall makes the play. Duncan gave it a good ride. But you could see it was going to stay in the park the whole way. And there are 2 outs.
You could also see Steve Lake setting up outside. You know he wanted the pitch a little bit lower than that. That pitch was just below the belt. Myers has had trouble all year long, sometimes with that good fastball of his with control. And Smith gets the throw back into Sandberg. That was a mistake that he got away with.
John Kruk, the batter. Kruk is a .412 lifetime hitter off Randy Myers. 7 for 17 with a couple of runs batted in. So the Phillies down to their last out. John doubled and knocked in a couple his last time up. Fly ball left field. Glenn Allen Hill over near the stands. It's out of play. Taking their hacks at Randy Myers. They trailed 7-2 in this one, got 4 in the 7th to make it 7-6. And that's where we stand right now with 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and Lenny Dykstra on first base. Breaking ball from Myers, and Kruk swings at it.
John was not anticipating that being a breaking ball. Watch this swing.
Myers hasn't thrown too many.
You know, the funny thing about John Kruk is you may throw him that pitch once and get away with it, and he'll look real bad on it. Try and throw it to him again another time. See what he does now.
See what Randy Myers decides to do. No balls and 2 strikes to Kruk. The pitch struck him out on 3 pitches. So Randy Myers gets it done. Phillies fall behind early tonight, and they never catch up, and the Cubs win the first game of this 4-game series by a score of 7-6 and give Randy Myers his 40th save of the year. There are the final totals in the ball game.